Welcome back to Eating Good. I'm Oscar.
I'm Marisol.
I'm Sam.
I'm David.
And this is the podcast where we go to different restaurants in Columbus, try out their food, and give our opinions. This week, David got to decide where we're going.
Thank you, Oscar. So this week, I decided to take us to CM Chicken. So CM Chicken stands for Chungman Chicken, Pride of Fried, as they say. And it's a Korean-style fried chicken franchise established in South Korea way back in 2009. And they focus on tigudak, which means fried and grilled chicken in Korean. So it's like, if you think about it, it's like Korean-style fried chicken, I think, is crunchier. Anyways, back in 2017, they started opening ones in America. And now they have 50 locations all over. So all our listeners out there, even if you're not in Columbus, Ohio, I'm sure there's a location close to you. And luckily, one of them is here in Columbus. So Oscar and I had been talking about some of the restaurants we'd been thinking about. And he said something about Korean fried chicken. And I had remembered seeing Instagram reels about people talking about how good Korean style fried chicken is. So I decided, you know what? I'm not going to wait for Oscar to pick it. I'm going to pick it. I'm going to take initiative. And the rest is history.
So you stole it from him.
To be fair, it was on the top of my mind. And then it was when we went to Hot Pot, like not for the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And we drove by one. He's like, oh, I've been thinking about going there. And I was like, oh, dang, me too.
What
And
is
so it
your
was one of those-
perspective on this, Oscar? Do
Yeah.
you feel like it was stolen?
I do remember bringing it up, and that was actually going to be my choice when we went to the German beer garden. But no, I mean, I've been wanting to go here, so I'm like, it's okay. It was a different pick because I still got to eat there.
Yeah. Okay.
If you
Good
think about
sport.
it, right? If you think about it, you picked what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And then this is kind of like your pick, and then you
Kinda.
get to pick in 2 weeks. So it's almost like you got 3 picks.
Yeah,
He
because
picks
this would have
next.
been like...
Oh. Well, same idea. You picked a lot.
well, this
And
is
also,
like my...
well,
Well, this is like my safe choice. Where I'm like, oh, if I can't think of anything, I'll just choose this, like the Korean chicken.
same. Earlier this week, someone was like, oh, it's David's choice. I was like, dang, I got to think about it. I was like, well, I know if anything, Oscar will enjoy this. And who doesn't love fried chicken? So
Yeah.
I knew it was also
True.
a safe bet. And I feel like I haven't had fried chicken in a minute. So I was like, let's do that, but with a different spin on it. So I got Korean udon, which is a udon noodle soup. So if anyone unfamiliar, udon are like the thicker noodles.
Udon.
And it was like I would like to say it was a chicken broth. And it came with 2 tempura shrimp and a bunch of crispy fried onions. So I thought it was nice. I love slurping up some thick noodles, you know me, and eating that with with the crunchies kind of made it a different texture. I will say this is a fried chicken spot, so their soup wasn't, I think, their main focus. I'm gonna give it a 7 because it was a good soup. I'm glad I ordered it and tried it, and it wasn't too expensive, so it wasn't like a full blown. I mean, it was like $9. But
Oh
like
yeah,
you
that's
go to
not bad at all.
right, you go to a ramen place where they spruce it up. That's gonna be $15-16. It hit the craving that I wanted. Safe 7 because if I went, I would maybe have it again, but I wouldn't go to the place for the soup. You know, It's in the area of Tensuke, which is another place that we like to go to. So I'd rather just go get ramen somewhere else. But udon noodles, I feel like, are a little harder to come by, so I'm glad I tried it.
They were
Went for it.
thick.
Thick
And-
boys. They look like snakes.
Mm-hmm.
And since I knew we were doing family style, I was kind of hungrier today, so I was like, let me supplement that a little bit. So soup was a safe bet because it like filled me up a little bit more, but it wasn't like, I don't feel like, oh my gosh, I ate way too much.
Yeah, I'm surprised you got the soup. I'm like, damn, you came to eat.
He's hungry.
It was the last minute too. I was like, because I was on the fence about it, and then they took all the menus away. You know, normally they leave one menu.
If we ask
For
them
the table.
to.
And
They
then-
don't always.
They swiped them all. I was like, God dang. And what was it? I asked for the menu, and I was like, oh, also, could I get the Korean udon? And you guys were like, you're not even going to pretend like you were going to look at the menu? I was like, no, because I had to really pee. So handled business and put in that order.
It was like unnecessary. You could have just been like,
Yeah,
let me
you
get
could
the
just say,
udon.
can I get an order of udon?
Well, yeah, but I think because we needed photos of the menu because
So we could do these descriptions.
Because their website is just like they only list items. They don't give you descriptions.
Okay.
Got
So
it.
it was-
That's why we needed the menu for
Yeah.
pictures
Got it.
of the menu.
See, there was a method to the madness.
So we ordered 3 different types of chicken. The first one we got was the curry chicken. It included crispy chicken tossed in our signature golden curry sauce. I liked this chicken the best probably because it was the least spicy. And it was just very flavorful. It definitely tasted like curry.
Mm-hmm.
And the spicy wasn't too bad. It was almost like a peppery spicy, but the more you ate it, it definitely like built upon itself.
I'm gonna agree with Sam. I was a proponent for the spicy chickens, but I think the golden was my favorite too. I think just like curry flavor is so good, and it was nicely glazed onto the chicken. It wasn't like overly saucy or anything. Which honestly, I might have next time I might order curry sauce on the side because it was so good. But it helped highlight the crispiness and crunchiness of the chicken, and I'm gonna give it a 9.
Wow.
Yeah, I really liked it. Yes.
I'm going to give it an 8.
Okay.
Yeah, I really of all the dishes, this one was my favorite. The curry chicken, it just tasted like Indian food in a way. Like it had that Indian flavor in fried chicken, and the chicken was fresh. Like it was so hot. But yeah, I think I would give it a 9 out of 10. I would go back just to get that.
Yeah. No, like that's
Yeah.
definitely. If I'm going back, I'm getting that curry chicken.
Yeah.
It was definitely like good level of spice for me. Like it was still like some like I still have some like aftertaste of like it being spicy, but it was a doable spicy. And I love the curry taste. So I would give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
It was good. It was probably my favorite one as well.
8s and 9s.
Yeah. I didn't find it spicy at all though.
I can see what they mean, like kind of like a peppery spice.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. There was like little green, or maybe like scallions or something. But I just thought the presentation of it was really good.
Well,
Also,
I do remember hearing Sam go like, "Yeah, like this is not spicy for you guys, but like it's spicy."
for like more sensitive.
Yeah,
people
like I
sensitive
can
to spice.
detect any spice pretty much on anything. So I was like, you don't notice it, but like as a person very sensitive to spice, I can notice it. I didn't notice it in the first bite. That's why I was like, I think it's like a building spice. Because once I had the second one, I was like, oh, it's getting spicy. And then as I kept eating it, I was like, oh my God, I need water.
Yeah, it wasn't like an instant. "Ooh, this
No,
is
yeah.
hot."
I will say too, the service was prompt because we ordered.
Oh yeah, it was really quick.
I waited like maybe like 5 minutes to order the noodles, and then I went to the bathroom for like 3 minutes, and I came back, and all the fried chicken was on the table. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it was
I love
super
that.
fast.
And all like most of the golden curry or whatever the curry chicken was gone. I was like, oh, I gotta get my piece.
I mean, I guess the only one they would actually have to like have ready is the curry one. But I guess I don't know because everything else is like glazed with whatever seasoning, right? With whatever
I feel like it's probably still a seasoning for that one too.
for the
Like toss
curry
it or
one.
something.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
probably just like a sauce that kind of like gets absorbed,
Yeah.
Maybe.
like a light sauce. Because really, the only thing you have to make is the chicken, and then whatever
And
sauce or
guess
seasoning
how-
you just put it on.
I guess it's pretty quick to like fried chicken.
I'm just wondering if they kind of have an idea of like, because we walked in and there was maybe like 2 other tables.
Yeah.
But we were a big group. I wonder if they're probably gonna order. I don't know. They had it down to science.
And it was
'cause
super crispy too.
Heck
I
yeah.
loved it.
Yeah, it felt fresh still, even though it was really quick.
Yeah.
The skin was like crunchy. And I normally don't like eating the skin.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the best part.
I don't know. I think I just grew up with my mom being like, don't eat the skin.
Like,
my
like for health
God.
reasons.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel that.
There were
Nah, that was the best.
there was so much crunch that there were certain parts that I'm like, I
Yeah.
can't eat this because it's just way too much skin.
There was times where I was like getting close to the end. And I was like, is this crunchy skin or is this gristle? And I couldn't tell. And I was like, I have to stop chewing
I
this
know,
right now.
it was really good.
Get that curry chicken. It's definitely worth it. All right. I was a proponent for the red snow onion. So for those unfamiliar, their snow chicken is crispy fried chicken topped with sliced onions and smothered in your sauce of choice. So it was like the same thing. The fried chicken, we got the half. So it came with whatever, breast, thigh, drumsticks and stuff like that. And it was their addictive gochujang sauce and then topped with the onions and I don't know. The onions also seemed like they came in like a little sauce, but
Yeah.
the onions were strong for sure. And I wanted to try the gochujang sauce because I'm a big fan of gochujang and kimchi and all that. So I was like, I need to try some of their chicken with that. I thought it was the spiciest, but there's some disagreements with this one and the next one we're going to present. But I thought the gochujang sauce was my second favorite, actually. And I'm probably going to give it an 8 because if I was going for spicy, I would choose this over the spicy garlic or whatever the other one is. Maybe get the onions on the side or something because there were a lot of onions, even more than I expected, even though the photo shows a lot of onions. But it did have me like a little teared up and snot going down. So if you're ordering for yourself, I don't know. Maybe break it up, get some regular chicken, get something to calm it down. But it was spicy, I will say. And I like spice.
Yeah, the chicken in that dish was just as good as the other chicken. The sauce, it was spicy. If you're like, I feel like if you don't, even if you normally eat some spicy food, you would find it spicy. But I still can't get over the onions on top. Like,
yeah, it was too much onions. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I liked the onions.
I also was a fan of the onions.
Yeah, like I didn't think. I mean, sure, maybe it was too much, but you don't have to eat all of them. Like you could, as you took off a piece of chicken, you could put however many onions on it you wanted. And I think it cooled it down a bit, and also just gave it a different flavor.
I like that fresh, because they were
Yes,
probably
it made it
fermented
more
onions
fresh.
or something. Yeah,
No, they
in
were
something.
fresh. They were very
But I'm just like
stinky.
they came in some sauce, or I don't know what it
like,
was.
Yeah,
like
it's
it
like
felt
a
like they
creamy
cooked the
sauce
sauce, then what is it, sliced up the onion, and then just put the sauce over the onion, like while it was hot.
And it was all like cold. It was like refrigerated.
Yeah, like
Temperature.
the onion was raw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it was stinky.
Yeah, it had a strong onion flavor.
Yeah. And what are you guys' takes on onion? Like I like
Like
onion
I
flavor.
like raw onion.
Mhm.
I like raw onion, but I just think it was I don't know. Like it was too like the smell and the taste was so strong that I didn't really like it. But I also like normally like raw onion.
Yeah, I do not like raw onion.
Ooh.
I only like onion when it's cooked in dishes and just, heat it up. So I could see why someone would like that. Like it is, if you're feeling an onion in the sauce, go for it. But me personally, it's too much. It's too much onion. I was just picking up the chicken and dumping all the onions off at the end.
So do you think that also influenced like your take on the chicken as a whole? Like, because they have the same thing without the onions, the red hot pepper chicken.
No.
Do you think you would have enjoyed it? Or like, I guess I'm asking if
I had just got the chicken and none of the onion had touched it, I would have still enjoyed the chicken because I still enjoyed the chicken in this dish. Like,
He just means like the onions were unnecessary to
yeah.
him.
Okay, but like you didn't mind that there was like onion juice on it, even if it's
No.
okay.
Because the onion juice itself didn't give a super strong flavor, so that you still just tasted most of the chicken. But like eating the chicken and the onion, I just couldn't do it.
I took a drumstick and it was like fully loaded, and I just bit it, and it was
I almost
really
feel like
great
the onion would
experience.
overpower like the chicken. Like if you had both the chicken and the onions.
I feel like it helped.
What if you just put less onion on your chicken?
I don't know. Like it was so strong. Like even like the little sauce that it was on, it was so strong that, and I wasn't a fan.
Fair enough.
The chicken itself, super crispy. The sauce was super spicy in my opinion. I will give 5 out of 10.
Wow, you really did not like it.
No, I mean
like
it's
a
just
nice-
for me. Like my preference. Like I'm not. I wouldn't get it again.
Right. Because you're also sensitive to spice.
Yeah, and it
And
was
then
like
the
super
onions
spicy.
probably didn't. Because I'm trying to think, like, I thought the onions cooled my mouth a little bit, but you know how onions are also kind of like strong? Some might even say spicy. I wonder if it made it feel spicier. Because I did think it was the spiciest one.
I agree with Marisol. I'd give the whole dish a 5 out of 10. But the chicken itself, I'd give it
chicken.
8.5 out of 10.
I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I enjoyed the onion, and this is my second favorite chicken as well. But that's because I think it was not the spiciest compared to the one we're about to go to.
Yeah.
This one was still spicy, and I don't normally like spicy food, so my rating is like not putting into my consideration my dislike for spice. I think if you like spice, you're going to like it.
Right. And gochujang is just such an it's like a unique spicy flavor.
Yeah. So I actually would get it again. Like I would try. I wouldn't get it myself for my full order just because of how spicy it is. But if someone else ordered it or ordered one of the chicken options with the onions, I wouldn't be opposed.
I'd be interested in seeing how the curry one with onions on it would be.
Keep the onions off. Keep the onions
Oscar
off.
really does not
Next
like
time we can order
onions.
them on the side. I don't mind scooping up the onions if we were to go again and do family style.
No, you can get the onions again. I'm just saying, keep it off the curry ones.
Oh, the curry ones have to be
Oh my gosh.
strictly curry goodness.
Yeah, our last chicken dish was the garlic. Our last chicken dish was the garlic spicy chicken. Sweet and spicy chicken, perfect for garlic lovers. I will agree. If you love garlic, you could definitely taste it in this sauce. And it was interesting because they had so much sauce on the chicken, but the chicken was still crunchy. Like it didn't get soggy. I didn't feel like at all.
It was definitely smothered in sauce. And you could see like the minced garlic. Like if you looked at it, there was so many garlic chunks, which really, again, for the garlic lovers, really drove it home.
No, I didn't notice that. This one had a spice to it, and like it kind of, you didn't notice it at first because like the more you ate it, the spicier it would get, and it was sweet.
Yeah.
But once you ate like a whole piece of chicken, like I felt like my mouth was a little bit on like fire, not like burning, but I'm like, okay, I can feel the heat coming. And I will say the fact that all the chicken was so hot doesn't help with the spice. I feel like if anything, it makes it feel a little spicier,
Like hotter.
Definitely.
hot and hot at the same time. But I did like this chicken. I probably wouldn't order it just for myself. I would do it in like a family style.
Right.
I'd give this one an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
So I think this one was the spiciest in my opinion, and maybe it's just because it's the first one that I ate between the spicy garlic and the gochujang. So I really didn't taste any garlic because all I could taste was spice and heat in my mouth. And then like everything I ate after, like we also got like French fries, right? And even when I would eat a French fry, because they were warm and my mouth was already spiced out, it just made it even more spiced out. And I was like, it's just so hard to eat anything right now. But I'm sure if you like spicy, you would be able to taste the garlic better and you would enjoy it more. I actually still liked it. I wish there was less sauce on it. Eventually I just like peeled off the skin and only ate the chicken because like the skin with the sauce was way too spicy for me. But putting my dislike for spice aside, I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah. I would agree with the 7. It was my third favorite. I think I had the opposite thing where I tried the gochujang one first. So then when I tried the spicy garlic one, it tasted sweet to me because I was like, oh, this is also spicy. But I feel like the sweetness really stood out to me. And like even when we're talking wings, I'm not the biggest like barbecue guy because I don't know. I'd rather have like a savory garlic or buffalo. So I think the sweetness stood out. It almost felt like it was honey, like a hot honey type thing. Like I still thought it was, crunchy, tasty, and like Oscar said, I would try it if someone else or if we did family style, so I wouldn't have to fully commit to it. I would eat it again, but of the things that we tried, definitely not the top of my list.
I love that it was smothered in the sauce. I could taste the garlic. This was also the first one I tried after the curry one. It wasn't as spicy as the other one, but I love that it was like smothered in that red sauce. It was still really spicy, but I could still enjoy it. I would give it a 6.5 out of 10.
For saying you loved it, that's such a low rating.
I liked it better than the other one.
True. I guess you did give it a 5.
Yeah.
Wah, wah.
I think that's interesting that you couldn't taste the garlic, Sam.
No, not really. I did taste that it was sweet. Like it was spicy and sweet.
I'm wondering if just because it was like so saucy and it was like a sticky sauce, if maybe it made like the heat linger.
Maybe.
Because I don't know. I think the sweetness overcame my taste buds. So I was like, oh, it can't be the spiciest if it's also sweet. But
yeah,
it was
I guess
super sauced up.
I guess sweetness does help with spicy.
A wee bit.
Yeah, you could eat a donut after eating something spicy. It'll help.
Yeah,
but the bagel won't.
Donuts solve everything, I think.
A bagel with cream cheese would definitely cool your mouth down.
A bagel with cinnamon, sugar, cream cheese would definitely help.
Okay. But
How
I
is a
digress.
donut gonna cool you down?
Because it's sweet.
No,
Yeah.
that's not how it works.
Sweetness helps with spicy.
The cream and cheese on a bagel.
So
not
you're
that
just
one.
gonna have donuts ready for when you have your next hot meal.
Yeah, you could have like the
Spicy meal.
donuts with frosting and sprinkles.
All right, I'm gonna give you a ghost pepper and a donut.
And then
No cup of milk
or cream cheese.
or cream cheese.
Well, if that's the thing, then you have to eat something spicy with just the bagel. No cream
We
cheese.
weren't the ones that said it.
Bagel and cream cheese.
Donut and milk.
Okay.
And
Anyways.
the donuts do not always go with milk.
Bagels don't always go with cream
Yeah, they
cheese.
do.
What? Yeah, I always had donuts with milk.
Yeah,
Well,
I did too.
No.
I guess we're getting a donut on the go.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're getting
Yeah.
a donut on the go, you're just getting a donut. If you're getting a bagel and cream cheese on the go, you get both. They have the little individual cream cheese
No.
containers.
I mean, you could have a donut and a coffee.
Okay, we'll give
Okay,
you a
coffee.
hot coffee
Okay.
to also cool you down.
Extra milk, please.
Coffee's not
Let's
gonna
reduce this
help.
coffee black.
I will say, since we're on the topic, the other day I went to Panera and they started making bagel sandwiches with the cinnamon crunch bagel,
And
which
you
is
tried it?
I tried it kind of like a donut, and it actually was really good with the sausage and a little cinnamon crunch.
But it's not a donut.
Yeah, I
It's
think
a
that's a
bagel.
point for bagel.
I'm saying
Yeah,
it's,
if anything, you're in the
it's
bagel
It's a
side
step
now.
in the direction of
Bagels.
donut. And all I was thinking the whole time was like, dang, imagine if this was a glazed donut though.
No, you didn't. So shut up.
I was like, even sweeter. I would say I did have Billy's Donuts, Ohio's best donut supposedly, and it was really tasty. Just saying.
The ones at Sam's house?
Yeah.
The stale ones?
Well, see, that's where the magic of the oat milk came in. You just stick it in there and sog 'em up.
Also, with bagels, you can store them. It'll last you longer than the fucking donut. A donut will just go stale.
No, dude, bagels get so stale so fast.
No,
you
you
literally
not
have
if-
to microwave them 15
Not if you
seconds
put
just to
them. Not
loosen
if
them
you
up.
put them in the fridge.
Whatever. Okay, well,
Let's talk about our sides.
I was
that we
just
got.
saying, we got the French fries. Let's bring it back.
Let's talk about the French fries.
Wait,
And the
are we not
tteokbokki.
gonna talk about the tteokbokki?
We can talk about all of
Yeah.
it.
I don't think. Did we take a picture of the tteokbokki?
Of the menu item, no.
No.
But we can. So the tteokbokki we got was the roast tteokbokki, and anyone not familiar, tteokbokki are rice cakes, and they're kind of like cylindrical and squishy and awesome. And the rosé was essentially just not the wine, but just the fact that it was like a creamy light sauce mixed with the red sauce, and it came out kind of like a vodka
Orange.
sauce, you know, like orangey. Which I'm wondering if that's why they named it rosé, because it's like vodka rose. Anyways, besides the point. Besides the point. But it was like a creamy tomatoey sauce, and it came with little hot dogs or little
Sausage.
sausages. When Sam said that there was sauce, I didn't read the menu, so I didn't know the sausages. And then I was like, oh, maybe that's just a really crispy tteokbokki.
I was like, no, this is definitely a
Sausage.
sausage.
I was like, no, I
They
don't
were
think so.
different colors.
They were different colors.
And then as soon as you bit it, you're like, that's a
That's
sausage.
sausage. Yeah. No, because then I had one later, and I was like, oh yeah, it tastes kind of like hot dog.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
I heard you say they were sausage, I'm like, how can you tell? And then I saw one, I'm like, oh, you can
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
tell.
But they were, in my defense, they were cylindrical as well, so they were the same shape. So I was like, maybe they just overcooked that.
I
little
think in
rice cake.
Korea too, whenever you have tteokbokki, like normally they have like sausages
Okay.
too.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure.
And then it had crispy onions on top, so it was like the
Crispy
squishy and the sausage,
Mhm.
but then also a little crunch to it if you wanted to pick up some of those.
Yeah, the tteokbokki was cooked to perfection.
Yes.
It was like soft, but not too soft. It was. I loved it. I think out of all the things we had today, the tteokbokki was my favorite.
You would go back for just that.
Yeah, I would. And the curry chicken. The curry chicken and the tteokbokki.
Match made in heaven.
Because they were the not spicy
Yeah.
things.
The
And also
curry
the
chicken
cream
was-
sauce or whatever, the rosé sauce helped with some of the...
was so good. I'm gonna try to see if I can figure out what it was.
Yeah.
To make it at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had some tteokbokki in the freezer for like months.
I know that's the tteokbokki I tried to make myself, but I guess I didn't cook it like right.
I still thought they were good. That's the beauty of rice cakes. They just, even if they're a little overcooked or something, they're still delicious.
Yeah.
But these ones were made great.
The sauce definitely matters.
Amazing.
So
I was like, I would get pasta with that sauce. It was so good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So good.
Definitely. I guess I would have liked it better if it was a pasta. I do not like rice cakes. And I already
really?
knew that I didn't like
Okay.
rice cakes. I will say these rice cakes were better cooked than other ones I've had in the past, but I just don't like the texture. It's very chewy. So if it was like a different type of noodle with that sauce, I would have loved it. But I liked the sausage. But the rice cakes themselves, I only had like one, and I was like, that's enough for me.
So good.
Yeah.
It's like a mochi.
Yes.
It's like mochi, right?
Yeah,
Technically.
because
Yeah,
mochi
I
is
think
like
mochi
rice.
is a rice.
It's even more
Rice.
chewy than mochi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's just like so compact and it's like a
Yeah.
cylindrical and there's nothing stuffed in there.
Weirdly, I feel like mochi, like the ice cream, like feel to it is a little bit weirder. I don't know. It like I feel like it makes me more uncomfortable than like
It's
tteokbokki.
it's because it's like thin, and then once the ice cream is gone or like melts, then
Yeah.
you're left with kind of just like it's almost like filmier.
And mochi is like a little bit chewier.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
I think
Maybe I
mochi
haven't-
is softer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I haven't had
It's
one
almost
in
like
a while.
stretchier. I think,
Yeah, mochi is
Maybe it's
stretchier.
stretchier. That's what I
Mhm.
meant.
Yeah, I agree with Sam. I had one rice cake and I'm like, I'm done with that.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys didn't like it because I had a lot of tteokbokki.
The
I would've
sauce
had-
was really good.
I would have had more, but I felt bad because we ordered 2 spicy things, and so I was like, I'm gonna try to eat less of the non-spicy
the
items.
things.
But if I would have known you didn't like the rice cake, I might have eaten another one.
Yeah, I had a lot.
And then our producer Bella, I think really liked the tteokbokki too.
Oh yeah, she wanted
Which
an
is like a
order to
fan
go,
favorite.
but then I never got her an order to go.
I would get the tteokbokki a 9 out of 10.
I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Okay, still pretty high.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 7 because the sauce itself was so
So
good. It
good.
brings the rating up, but I don't like the rice cakes.
I'm giving it an 8.5. I think it was my second favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I almost thought about when all the cakes were gone and I still had a little bit of udon noodles. I was like, what if I just made a
those
little
in the-
pasta? Yeah. Rub them around a little bit. But I contained myself and didn't. Honestly, that'd be a good menu item. That rosé sauce and some udon noodles.
That rosé sauce with anything would be so
Mhm.
good.
I thought about putting a french fry in there.
Or even get a side of the rosé sauce and
For the
make your own chicken.
Yeah,
That would be
Oh,
probably so
that'd
good
be
That
really
would
with the
good.
curry
be
chicken.
so good.
it'd be like chicken parm or something like when you have a
Rosé
chicken. With the
chicken.
sauce.
Yeah.
Chicken a la rosé.
I do like at like Italian restaurants when they put like little tomatoes or peppers to add it like a
Like a
sweet crunch to
Crunch
it.
to it, yeah.
I think
Do
it'd
they
be-
do that here?
No, I'm saying I think that'd be good with like that sauce as well.
We're just
Oh.
we're
I
like
was like-
we're like consultants. Like we think we have a great menu item for
Yeah,
you.
we have a proposal for you and your restaurant.
Name it the Eating Good Tteokbokki.
Yeah. We got the kimchi,
Oh right.
which is just your classic kimchi, and I liked it. I mean, it wasn't crazy spicy. Maybe it's because all the chicken had already spiced up my mouth. This was like cooling in contrast to that. But I really like the fermented taste, and since it's like cold, it did help cool my mouth down from like the
Mhm.
spicy and hot things that we were eating.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd give it an 8.5.
Okay.
Yeah, agree. 8 out of 10.
I might meet in the middle, like 8.25, because I think it was better
8
than
and a
like
quarter.
I think it was better than like store bought one. I'm wondering if they make it in house.
That was gonna be my question.
They also
What do
just
you guys
buy it
think?
from like somewhere.
I kind of think they make it in house
I did
Or-
too.
because he said that they didn't have enough for another serving.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he said that.
Because we originally ordered 2 and
Oh,
they only brought
gotcha.
out 1. They said we ran out.
Okay.
And they gave us a lot too.
And it felt, yeah, it was a good portion size, and it just felt fresher than. To be fair, back when I was in Boston, there was me and 4 roommates, and one of us got the bright idea to buy like, I think it was like this big of a container. It must have been like a pound or 2 pounds worth of kimchi, and it was in the back of our fridge for like 4 or 5 months until we're like, all right, we can't eat anymore physically. So it was better than that.
For the listeners, I would say maybe like half a gallon.
Yeah, it was way too much. We're like, I think we had gone out to eat. We're like, oh, kimchi's really good. Let's buy a lot of it.
Oh my God.
And it was literally just me and one other roommate, really, and mostly me, like poking at it
Mhm.
when I could. Great for your stomach biome, your gut.
Yeah.
It was probably a lot because they just gave what was left over. Like, just throw it all.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
and it was
makes
really liquidy too. So that makes
Yeah,
sense. It's
it
probably like the
was.
tail end.
It was
of-
like a soup. You could have drank it up.
Yeah, Marisol was trying to get the table to drink it. Like, all right, who's going to drink this? She's like, Oscar, drink it.
It was good. I'd also give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, we were talking at the restaurant that it's interesting that, like, I'll have kimchi at a restaurant, like, if it's there, but I
Yeah.
won't, like, buy it. Because, like, Marisol was saying, it's, like, interesting enough to eat that you don't want to stop eating it.
Mhm.
But it's also, like, not something you want to eat all the time.
It's not something like that you crave, but like if it's in front of me, I can't stop picking at it.
Yeah,
'cause
exactly.
It's
It's
like good.
Yeah, if it was, I could have soloed that kimchi, I think. It was so good, but I was like, let me contain myself and mix it up with the daikon. Since I know it's like good for your gut, I'm like, oh, it's healthy. Let me just eat as
it's
much
an
of it as I
excuse
can.
to eat a bunch of it. You're gonna go buy another big old container of kimchi.
Maybe I'll get a jar next time I go to the Asian mart.
Yeah.
But definitely, I'm never buying that much kimchi in bulk ever. Because
I
the
hope
good thing is
not.
it holds because it's a fermented food. But,
Yeah. I recently bought some kimchi from Walmart actually
Mhm.
because I wanted it to make it in like this ramen recipe. So I haven't actually tried it by itself, but I've just used it to cook so far.
Okay.
But yeah, it's
Yeah.
in my fridge if you guys want to try it.
I actually,
All right.
now we're talking about it so much, maybe after this I'll have a little bit
Yeah.
on the way out. I think there's even a Cleveland kimchi company. I think I've seen in the
I think
stores or
that's
something.
where it's from.
Okay. So
Maybe.
it's like kind of local, which is cool.
I think that's what the one from Walmart was that I bought. I don't know. I'd have to look at the
Mhm.
packaging.
I was also telling them at the table, I saw like a Facebook reel or something of someone from Korea, and they were saying that in Korean culture, it's like its own category of food. So it's like, since they eat it with so many different meals, it's like not grouped with like sides or anything. It's like its own little thing. I'm like, man, the Koreans got it down. They know how to take care of that gut.
Is that all the food?
I mean, did we talk about the fries? Anything to say? They were well seasoned.
Mhm.
They came out hot,
They were thick.
thick.
Long.
I feel like because my mouth was so spiced out and the fries were hot, it made it hard to eat them. So like I didn't enjoy them as much as I normally would have.
I will say, they came out crispier looking, like more golden
Mm-hmm.
than on the menu. Because we were like curly fries or regular fries. And I looked at the menu and they looked kind of pale on the menu.
Yeah,
I was like
agree.
worried that they were going to be soggy, but they were not. So
Yeah, they were good.
exceeded expectations.
7.
was
Solid
gonna say,
7, I would say.
7.5 for the one or two that I had because
Yeah.
I expected worse.
Yeah, I'd go with 7.5. They were thick fries, but because they were hot the entire, like when they brought them out and they stayed hot, they were just good and crunchy at the end.
Cool.
Nice.
That wraps up all the food then.
Wait,
Oh,
would we go back?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I would
100%.
definitely go back.
yeah, I would go
Tteokbokki.
back. It wouldn't be like my first choice of a place to go to, but if
Okay.
someone else was going and invited me, I'm like, yeah, I'll go, and I'll
Okay.
for sure just order my own non-spicy chicken.
Right, right.
I
Now,
would
now
get
you
the
know which
curry
one.
one and the tteokbokki.
If I'm ever in the area and I'm hungry, I'd stop by. But yeah, like Sam said, I probably won't go out of my way for it
Yeah.
in particular.
I could see myself going on a weekend, like just getting pickup, bringing it back home.
Let me know. I feel like I'm more like, I don't really drive out to places to get food. I'm like, there's so much around us. But whenever, like the other day, Oscar was like, you want to get Mr. Hero? I was like, yeah. So if I'm going with someone else, I'd definitely go. Let me know, Oscar.
For sure.
Now that I think about it, I want some Ritzies or Preston's. We haven't gotten a burger in
That's
a
true.
while.
We haven't gone back.
I've been
to-
craving a burger.
or October 2nd
Oh,
to
Burger
9th.
Week is
Burger
coming
Week.
up.
Maybe we'll have an emergency burger episode during the week or something.
All right. Well, that wraps up the food portion. Let's move into kind of our main topics. As you guys know, we're in our spooky mode right now. I think we should start off with the movie we saw this past weekend.
Yeah, okay.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Netflix version.
The new one.
The 2022.
Vroom, vroom.
He's wearing her face.
We had a movie night and we let Marisol pick a scary movie for us.
Because I never want to watch scary movies with me, and it's spooky season. So I gave them two options, either Hereditary or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. and they did not choose Hereditary.
I came late, so I feel like I don't remember the choice, but it was only after we were about to set it up where Sam's like, yeah, I can't do paranormal. And I was like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that's what like scared you.
No, not that I can't do it. If I'm gonna watch a scary movie, the genre, I can handle gore. Like that doesn't bother me.
Okay.
Versus like the jump scares in paranormal movies are what freaks me out.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Which like gory movies do have jump scares as well, but I feel like they have significantly less because they focus on the gore to also scare people.
Really,
and I'm like, the gore doesn't
ugh.
scare me at all. I know it's fake.
Dude,
They didn't let me like turn off all the lights. We had to keep a lamp on.
that was pretty funny.
Come on, it's just a lamp.
Right, it's our first one. Maybe by the end of October,
Yeah.
I'd be down for a dark, scary
But
movie.
not for...
Hereditary?
No, we gotta watch that like in the daylight.
No! Guys.
I honestly don't even know what it's about. I just heard that
You
it's
don't
a
need
scary
to
like
know
movie.
what it's
scary.
about.
That it like messes
just need
you
to
up
feel it.
mentally.
Yeah, it fucked me up. I forgot who I watched it with, but I remember I couldn't sleep that night. I just thought something was gonna come out of the corner of my room.
And you're the scary movie person, so that's...
I know. There's only a couple that have fucked me up. But
What
anyways,
else?
what did you
else
guys
has
think?
fucked you up?
Evil
Huh?
Dead?
What else has fucked you up?
Evil Rise Dead. I think that's what it's called.
Evil Dead Rising or something
Evil
like that?
Dead Rising. It's also on Netflix, and I forgot who told me I shouldn't watch it by myself, but I didn't realize it until halfway watching the movie because it just fucked me up. And I guess like I also like screamed a little too loud, and David was like in the house.
I was like, what the heck is going on over there? Because it was just like, I don't know what the movie is. Is it like more scary or gory
It's
or
like
what?
demon stuff.
Yeah, so I heard like, I was like, what the heck is going on? And then her screaming, I was like, I didn't check though. I was more scared. I was like, she'll figure it out.
And I had
She's
watched
like,
that.
She's good. She's on her own.
Yeah, I had watched that like when it was still daylight outside. But I was like, man, that's fucked up.
Did you
What-
watch the whole thing?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm not a wimp. I loved it. What did you guys think of Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Also, spoiler alert, we're going to talk about the movie a little bit.
I was gonna. Yeah, let's do
yeah.
a spoiler for the beginning.
Before listening to this movie, just know that you're about to be spoiled.
For
That was a terrible spoiler.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Listening to
do this
this
anymore.
podcast.
Someone do it.
spoiler warning.
If you haven't seen the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre and you're planning on watching it, skip ahead a couple minutes because we're gonna go discuss specific scenes and like give away what happens.
Take
Or-
away some of the charm from
or-
his murders.
Or pause the pod now, go watch it, and then
And then
come back
finish.
and listen to the pod.
83 minutes later.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
What did you guys think of Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
I enjoyed the watch, honestly.
Yeah.
It wasn't dragged out because it wasn't a long movie. It was like 83 minutes or something. That man was on a mission. He wanted to kill. And I will agree with Sam. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't seek out gore or anything like that, but I can put up with it. Funnily enough, there was one part that really messed me up.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it was
yeah.
and it
Tell
wasn't
me
even
your
the gory
favorite part.
part.
I mean, it was a gory
Yeah.
part, but
It was like not
wasn't
bloody
as-
gory.
Yeah,
It wasn't bloody.
It wasn't the goriest part of the movie. I
But
would say.
as it happened, I like screamed. I was like, "Woo!" It was
Wait, was it the last part? The last
no,
scene?
it was the leg. Remember when
Oh yeah, I think it all fucked us up.
that one? But I like audibly shrieked. It was.
Is
don't know,
that your favorite moment or your scariest moment?
It was just the most like what the. I was like the most. That guy's fucked up, dude. And he was already wearing someone's face by that point. And, like he had done way worse. Like the thing that he did that fucked me up didn't kill the person.
No, he just basically kicked a guy's leg so it bent the opposite way and snapped.
At the
He
knee.
hit it with
Like
a
the
hammer.
bone like stuck
And-
out.
Yeah.
And
But the thing is, the guy was wearing pants, so it's not like you saw the bone
It was
or
je-
the blood.
yeah, he was wearing jeans.
It was just
and,
jeans that bent the wrong way.
And I was like, it was fucked up because he kept fighting. My ass would have been like, my leg.
yeah, I was impressed. He was like hobbling on one leg, still fighting back instead of just collapsing to the ground.
His leg just dragged.
That's a real Texan man right there. But yeah, that part, I think I just have something about knees. I think it's because I've had weak knees my whole life. And I'm just worried that one day it's just going to snap backwards or something like that.
Okay.
So when it happened, I was like, oh, And also the Browns injury.
I was gonna
recently.
say, let me ask you, did you see the video or picture of Chubb's?
Yes,
injury?
I watched it a couple of times, but it's one of those ones where, like, you get the shiveries. Like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
one of those injury videos.
It
I
was
can
a
only
bad
watch
fall.
it like 2 or 3 times. I was like, dude, I can't.
Only.
I had to make sure.
Not my usual 6 times.
I had to make sure I had to believe what I was seeing, and he's out for the season, so I think he fucked it up.
I haven't seen it.
No, you can tell just by the
Yeah.
picture.
And then even yesterday in the Ohio State game, the one dude, remember?
But
And
he
the
ended
one-
up being fine.
Yeah,
he was
he's-
walking. I think it looked worse because it looked like his foot got stuck underneath the guy and like bent a
Ye-
weird way. But I think it must have not actually been as stuck as it looked.
See, I thought it was an injury at the knee again, maybe because of the Texas Chainsaw. But no, when I saw it on Twitter, it was like the rolled ankle or something like that. So
it was the ankle.
I was so hyper fixated on the knee that I didn't even notice the ankle.
He's scarred from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Seriously, bro. That's why I was walking weird.
Yeah, I feel like we should each say our least favorite part and our favorite or most impactful part.
Can we say our funniest part too?
Yeah, or the funniest part.
Okay.
I think we all might have the
know.
same,
The same funniest part because it was just so out of nowhere.
Which one?
There's like the scene where there's all these people on a bus.
Wait, is
Like-
this your favorite or funny? What is
The
this?
funniest.
Oh, that's not my funniest
Oh,
part.
Okay.
Nah.
Okay. What do you got?
Well, I guess I thought that part was funny was when all the people were on the bus and the like killer gets on and all the people take out their cell phones and the guy's like, "You try anything, bro, and you're canceled."
Oh, that
my
was
God.
the cringiest
That
part.
was the cringiest
That was the
part of the whole
cringiest
movie.
part. I was like, they had to throw that in.
And then he's the first one that gets killed by the chainsaw.
He goes, oh,
Yeah,
fuck.
and you can see the comments on his live video, and they're
That
like,
looks so fake.
That looks so fake, bro."
One of them said, "Where is this? I want to go."
One was like, you ditched us for this? I was like, dude, these people are all the worst. What the heck? Okay. I think the funniest part was there was one scene where he gets pushed into water,
Yes. Yes.
right? He fucking, they think he's dead.
Oh my
And then
God.
He jumps
Leatherface torpedoes out like Shamu
Yes.
and attacks, but like the way his arms were by his side, he literally
It
looked.
literally is like a dolphin jumping out of the water.
It's like they sent him down a water slide head first type thing. They're like, hands by your sides, and then he just started whacking people.
I wish we would have recorded ourselves like watching this movie because our comments throughout the movie
Dude.
just hilarious. All I remember is like him flying out like a fucking dolphin out of the water, and then Sam was like, "Damn, like Shamu."
I was like, he just needed to add
And
the
you
dolphin
were, like,
noise.
dying laughing. I was
Because
like,
I was
damn,
like-
that really hit hard for her.
It was so funny because it was a tense moment too. It was like towards the resolution, and we all just started busting out laughing because
It was just ridiculous.
they must have had like a rope on him or something to yank him
Yes.
because he shot out,
And they pulled
dude.
him a little too far out to be realistic.
It almost seemed like he was like, "Only one take. I'm only doing
Yeah.
one." I'm like, "This is the one we're using."
Make it count.
Yeah, that was definitely the funniest part for me. I can go into my least favorite part.
Okay.
And I guess it's not really a specific part. It's more so the two characters.
Okay.
So the premise is these Gen Z kids are gentrifying this town.
Ghost town.
It's a ghost town. So they buy all of the building and then they're having investors come in and selling the buildings off to try to like revitalize this town of just like young, cool people that can do whatever they want. But they just have terrible personalities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't even upset when they got killed. I was like, yeah, you deserved that.
I was kind of like waiting, you know.
Yeah.
They really painted them in such a like kind of like a boomer, like, oh, these new kids. Because I was kind of empathizing with Leatherface.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it
I
was
was
such-
on Team Leatherface for a while.
I was like, yeah, kill him. But no, yeah, Sam described it well. They're just like so involved in themselves.
Yes.
It was like, yeah.
Disrespectful.
Disrespectful, like entitled, self-centered.
Mhm.
And it was like the boy specifically and then the girl with the curly hair. But the
Yeah.
boy the most, I would say.
Okay.
I like both
thought-
of them were like equal.
Yeah, they're both pretty bad.
Yeah.
I guess the girl with the curly hair redeems herself a little bit later on because she
Right.
like saves her sister,
Mhm.
but
She apologizes.
She does apologize.
Right.
The guy dies before he has the chance to apologize. Not that he ever would have.
Yeah, especially after his fucking half his face was ripped off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. That was my least favorite part. I was like, I don't like these characters.
It also just made it cringy to watch. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is the horror part, is watching all this cringe of these Gen Z kids.
Yeah, no, it was good for the writers. They really made it a way to kind of like make it a gray area of like, who am I rooting for here? You
Yeah.
know, like, why'd you steal his house? Yeah, okay, he chainsawed a couple people, but come on.
But come on, you killed his mom figure.
They were gonna turn that orphanage
heart
into a
attack.
bakery or something. Like, come on.
But yeah, they're like, I was just thinking they're trying to make this idea of buying this town like it's a great idea. When one of the characters like, we're in 50 miles nowhere. I'm like, damn, yeah, that's a drive.
They were
Yeah.
7 hours from civilization. It was like, what? Who? I don't know. It was just like,
Who's gonna come there? There isn't even an airport.
Exactly. But I mean, I guess they would just, I don't know. But it didn't seem like engineers, the people that were buying, so I don't know how they would have built up the place.
they were
Yeah.
definitely idea people, not like
Idea people, for
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
I think their whole thought was like to be disconnected from the world, but like they were big social media people, so it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're so
I
connected.
think they were just doing it for the views.
Yes, for the
oh,
cloud.
for sure.
For the cloud.
It was like
Clout.
What did I say?
Cloud.
What did you say?
Clout. What did I say?
For the clout.
You definitely thought it was Cloud this whole time. Like,
Maybe.
it was like one of the characters like, so what do y'all run in a cult or something? And then they tried to
They're like,
make it sound
no,
different.
it's a place for
It's a
new
group.
ideas to prosper and like us to live in harmony. And they're like, yeah, that sounds like a cult.
That sounds culty. My least favorite part was just like, yeah, they were all self-absorbed like that, and the main characters for sure. But when the one character saw the murder, walked back on the bus, was visibly like distraught, and everyone's like, what's going on, for like 2 minutes, and then the chainsaw guy got on the bus. So it was like,
Yeah.
she could have saved them and been like, fucking run, but she didn't.
She told nobody about anything that she saw, not even like the bus driver, so that he could at least be prepared.
Try to run.
I could understand like trying to keep the calm, but
She was like,
he
didn't say
did
nothing.
absolutely nothing
Yeah.
to like prevent anything from happening.
you looked her in the eyes and it was like the lights were on, but no one was. I wonder if it must have been a trauma response
yeah,
or something.
I guess
but
it was
like,
shock, but still.
Right, she just went to the back of the bus.
and was just like, and she knew what was gonna happen, bro. She
Yeah.
knew. And,
Yeah.
that rubbed me the wrong way.
Agreed. That was also a bad character.
Yeah.
And then our favorite parts.
Yeah, your most impactful
Oh, most
part. Well, I feel
impactful.
like yours was the leg
Yeah,
thing.
mine was the leg one because he was a stronger man than I and still fought after losing a kneecap.
I think my favorite part is when Leatherface gets to his house and then he puts on his mom's makeup and then he grabs a hammer, starts hammering like a wall. And then I guess his chainsaw was inside the wall, so he gets it out, and I just thought that was so cute.
She was like, oh, he got his chainsaw.
That's
I'm
so cute. We're like, he's about to murder everyone.
Because I'm like, it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm like, this is how it's gonna happen.
Like he's
But-
reunited with his
Yeah,
favorite
it's like,
thing.
how many years has that been in there?
It was a big reveal too because you could tell the way they framed it. Like it just showed the chainsaw, and we were all like, "Oh,
Yeah,
like, it
I
makes
forgot
sense.
that the movie was Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I was like, oh, duh, there's supposed to be
Right?
a chainsaw
Right.
here.
Or
It was
like,
just so cute
"Aw."
because he like grabbed it and like, I don't know, almost like thought back of all the times he's had with it.
The beautiful memories.
I was
Memory.
saying it's like
Nostalgic.
when you have your baby blanket that you love or your favorite stuffed animal as a baby.
Blanky.
All the
But they even
feelings
said,
came back.
Cheney.
I missed you. But it was just so funny. We were all like, "Oh yeah," and then Marisol, "Aw," a different type of awe.
Yeah. I'd say my most impactful part was after like the old lady died, the one that took care of him, he
Mhm.
like cut her face off and
Yeah.
put it over his head, and I was like, really, like I'm like, I don't think there's anything else in this movie that can get me as bad as that. So
that was the worst part for you.
It was like early on, and so then when he was
Yeah.
like putting on makeup in the house, I was like, that's making it worse.
You know what that reminded me of?
What?
The episode of The Office where they do the CPR training and then
Yes.
Dwight ends up cutting the doll's face off and he's like
Clarice. Have you guys seen Silence of the Lambs?
no.
We should watch that. That's a really good movie. That's my vote. For
I'll watch it if
spooky
you
season.
guys
Oh,
watch
wait.
Hereditary.
I have.
It's the Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, I have seen.
It's so good.
Silence
I
of the
haven't.
Lambs.
It's a scary movie, no?
Yeah.
It's like a
Like a
psychological thriller.
Yeah, yeah.
And you haven't seen it.
Psychological. I know I haven't seen that.
It's a classic too. I think it's like regarded.
I would
as-
watch that
Okay, we'll table that for.
next week.
Shoot, I'm down because we're working through spooky season.
My most impactful part was the ending.
Oh,
yeah.
dude,
But
yeah,
also,
you screamed.
like,
I feel like Sam got jump scared on
Everyone
that
That
one.
did.
was the biggest
Everyone
jump
did.
scare for me, which is why it was the most impactful part. So this is like the biggest spoiler of all. But at the end of the movie, there's two girls, they're sisters, and they like
killed
finally
the-
defeated Leatherface. They get in this Tesla and set it to like self-drive.
Autoplay.
Yeah, like auto drive back to wherever they're from. And the Tesla's going real slow. And
Yes.
They opened the
so
sunroof.
slow. Yeah, they opened the sunroof.
So dumb.
the calmness on these girls to like
Dude.
get out of this town. It's like they have nothing else to
They
do.
had no urgency.
No
Like, sure,
urgency to leave.
even if you killed Leatherface, I would be running as fast as I could and driving as fast as I could out
Yeah.
of there. I'm not gonna like dilly dally and stand here hugging for 5 minutes
Right.
and then
Dude.
like start laughing in the car and
The
slowly driving away.
The second cringiest part was like the younger sister's like, "Sister, I think I'm ready to move to this town with you," and the other girl's like, "Ha ha 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 ha."
Yes.
And then,
And then right there, Leatherface breaks the window of the Tesla, grabs the older sister, pulls her out, chainsaws her head off, and then is dancing with the chainsaw in the head while the younger sister is like in the self-driving car, so she doesn't know how to stop it. And
hanging
she's
out
like,
the sunroof,
hanging
looking
out
back.
the sunroof, watching it happen, and just screaming and like reaching for her sister.
As the car drives
like
away.
12 miles per hour.
Yes, it's still going like super slow.
Yes,
like he could still come after her. Could
He could
probably
definitely
get
have
her.
caught up to her.
I
But,
thought he was gonna throw the chainsaw and cut her head off too.
Right.
That's what I was expecting.
and then imagine the Tesla gets to the destination and someone opens the door and it's just
Dead.
a corpse. No head. But yeah, so the part where he breaks through the window and grabs the sister, I was not expecting that. Which I guess I should have, but it was just like so peaceful. Like even the music they were playing, nothing ominous, and then it was just like boom, boom, boom.
Good twist, man.
Yeah,
Great.
good twist.
See, the thing about scary movies is that you don't really get happy endings. Something
That's
always
true.
happens.
It's hard to
That's
forget that
true.
part.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
hard to
we should
remember.
have seen it coming because in the scene where the girl like defeated him to the final blow, she like hit him like
No,
uppercut him with the
absolutely.
chainsaw.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, you just grazed his chin. It's not like
Yeah.
you cut his head off or like sliced him in half.
Yeah, it's not like she put it in his body.
I
No.
don't even know why she like did that. You couldn't go across. You
Right.
were like
She, like,
from
punched him
from
with the
bottom up.
chainsaw.
Not
Yeah.
even like top to bottom,
No.
because at least you could get him.
Like,
the
But
brain.
like she just literally like lifted it up.
and she hit him in the chin, and like
It's like the
That's it.
impact of it kicked his head back so he didn't get cut.
yeah,
That
and then he
much.
just fell back into the water. And we already know he swims like Shamu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we already know he
He was
was
in
Shamu
his,
out of that
his
shit.
element.
He must have held his breath for like 5 minutes though, man. He's got some good lungs.
Shamu.
It's part whale.
But yeah, I think before that ending, I was like, oh, the movie was okay. And then after the ending, I was like, that was a good movie.
Good ending. Good
Especially
ending.
since she was one of the worst characters too.
Yeah,
So.
that
Yeah.
was the other worst character that we were
Yeah.
like, dang, she survived.
I
But then she
wasn't
didn't.
I wasn't too upset when she died.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm glad the sister survived, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
the sister was like innocent, you know. She
Yeah.
kind of got
Yeah.
dragged along.
So I figured she would survive from the beginning because she was portrayed as like the innocent one. I just feel bad that now she has more trauma because she had also gone through a school shooting
Yeah,
previously,
that was pretty messed
as
up.
shown through flashbacks throughout the movie. So now I'm like, now she's just got more trauma.
And because like one of the other older characters was like the only other surviving person
From the original movie.
so
yeah.
I'm like, they got to keep the franchise going, so I'm sure this girl's gonna keep
Yeah.
being the main person.
Exactly.
Good movie. What would you guys rate it?
Oh,
I thought it was a fun movie. I'd rate it
Not too scary.
7 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd go with like a 7.3 out of 10.
7.5. I had fun with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I rate it, it's for like entertainment, not from how like scary it was.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Entertainment. I would give it an 8 out of 10. It was
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was also fun to watch together.
Yeah.
I like when we watch movies in my house and we make funny commentary throughout.
Yeah. It makes
So
it
I
more
love
fun.
talking during movies, and so when the whole group joins in and we're like laughing as it's going on, it's the best.
And with scary movies, I don't feel bad about like, oh,
Yeah.
what did they say? Like, because
'Cause
it's not as important as like a drama.
And for a scary
Yeah.
movie, it lightens the mood. So
Yes.
I'm
And
less
also,
scared.
I was gonna say it makes it less scary because like when you're at the movie theater, it's not like you can like be talking through it, so you just kind of have to
I'd be
watch
trying
it.
still.
Yeah. You gotta feel sometimes.
It depends how busy the theater is.
Yeah. But then there's times where I've gone to a scary movie and someone's talking too much, and I'm like, come on. Like, I feel the
Yeah.
same way,
Shut
but
up.
like, yeah, just shut up.
Shut up. I wonder what movie I'll choose next week.
Wait, do you choose all of them?
Yes,
We get no input?
We picked Silence of the Lambs.
this is my month.
It's not even
Fine,
your
Silence of the Lamb.
It's not even your birthday.
It doesn't
But-
matter. This is like my second birthday.
Spooky season is
season.
hers.
So we just discussed a movie. A couple weeks ago, we did a little bit where I described a movie and you guys had to guess what it was. So we want to make this a recurring segment. So each week we'll alternate who does it. And this week Marisol is starting off. So she's going to describe a movie to us. And you listeners, as well as me, David, and Oscar in this room, are going to try to guess what the movie is based on that description.
Okay.
Okay.
I
got
feel
it.
like you guys have either all watched this movie or you know of it.
Okay.
Okay. Very short and
Both.
and sweet. Okay.
Okay.
Transported to a surreal landscape, a girl kills the first person she meets and then teams up with 3 other strangers to kill again.
And you think we've heard of this movie?
Wait,
Yeah.
read it again?
Transported to a surreal landscape, a girl kills the first person she meets and then teams up with 3 strangers to kill again.
For what purpose?
I know.
Do you have any idea?
I don't think so.
Let me think a little bit more.
Transported to a surreal landscape, a girl kills the first person she meets and then teams up with 3 strangers to kill again.
Do you have a hint prepared?
I feel like my hint will kind of
Give it away.
Give it away.
Can I say my guess?
Should we do hint first or guessed first?
Okay, give it the hint.
But just give your guess.
Oh,
Well, what
Or
if it's
text
me?
it to me.
Or
Text it to me.
close your eyes and I'm gonna
No, no,
mouth
no.
it.
Or just
No,
write it down on your
just
phone.
No,
Okay.
text it to me.
All right,
Okay.
I'm gonna text you right now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be something dumb.
Okay, hint.
Yeah.
There's red shoes involved.
The Wizard of Oz?
Yep.
was like, that's a
ding,
really
ding,
big
ding.
hint. You should have said a furry companion comes along.
A furry companion.
Cause Toto the dog. Cause they killed a witch first, right?
Yeah.
And then they
Yeah.
killed the other
Yeah.
witch
Yeah.
or the wizard. I actually haven't seen the
I actually
movie all the
didn't
way.
know that they were going to kill somebody. That's
Yeah.
what the whole point of the movie is.
Or she's trying to find the
She
wizard.
kills
Right?
the witch first, and then
She accidentally lands on the witch with the house.
Yeah, yeah.
So the
She
witch
accidentally
dies.
lands on the witch, and then she meets up with these other people, the Tin Man, the Lion, and the other
Yes,
person.
but I thought they were finding the wizard so she could go home. I didn't know they were
They
trying
do,
to
but then
kill
in order for
somebody.
her to go home, they're like, you have to kill the Witch of the West or whatever.
The Wicked Witch of the West.
Yeah.
I thought
with
she
the
was
water?
already dead. Oh no,
No.
that's a different
That was the
one.
East, I think. There was 2 of
Different.
them, right?
Different witch.
I didn't know there was that many witches. I thought there was the evil one that got killed and then the good one. I clearly didn't know the plot of the movie. I only knew because you said red shoes. I would have
Yeah.
never gotten that.
Yeah.
I actually don't know if I've seen. Also, spoiler alert: if you haven't seen this movie from like 60 years ago.
What are you doing? Catch up.
Okay.
Well, that was short and sweet.
Yep. I said short and sweet.
That was a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was like, it was the thing that gave it was the Three Friends. I was like, okay, are they gonna? We're off to see the Wizard.
The
Wonderful
Wizard of Oz.
Anyways,
If you like a better hint without giving it away, it'd be like there's singing. There's a lot of singing.
It's a musical.
I've also never seen the movie.
But that's right. It's like you know.
But
of
I
it.
know of the
It's
movie,
like a cultural.
and I kind of know like what it's about.
Yeah.
All right, moving right along in our spooky, scary content, we wanted to talk true crime.
Ooh.
So we've each come up with a true crime story that we're just going to talk about, and
Well, we didn't come up with it.
Well, like we found.
we each found
We
a
sourced a story.
true crime story that we wanted to discuss. So, trigger warning for these true crime stories, they do go into details of murder, sexual
Kidnapping.
assault against children, kidnapping.
Disappearance.
I mean, disappearance. I don't know if that means a trigger warning.
Trigger warning.
Trigger.
And have an affair.
True infidelity.
Infidelity. I'll put timestamps in the description below, so if you want to skip any specific topic, you can. Who wants to go first?
I can go first.
Do it.
Okay.
Excited?
Have you guys heard of the Watts family?
The Watts family.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Like
Kinda
electricity?
Well, actually, that's how it's spelled. Yeah. Okay. My true crime story is the disappearance of Shannon Watts and her 2 young daughters. The Watts family lived in Frederick, Colorado. Chris and Shannon Watts, who are originally from North Carolina, had decided to move to Colorado and start a family in 2012. Shannon and Chris had 2 daughters, 4-year-old Bella and 3-year-old Celeste. In June of 2018, Shannon had posted on Facebook that she was expecting her 3rd child. The Watts family were known as this perfect family from all the stuff that they always post on social media. While Shannon continued to post loving tributes to her husband online, turns out the couple was having difficulties in their relationship and had decided to take some time apart to see if separation could work. By the end of June, Chris had begun a new relationship, an affair with a coworker, Nicole Kissinger. According to Kissinger, Chris told her that he was in the process of separating from his wife. On August the 13th of 2018, Shannon Watts, who was 15 weeks pregnant, was reported missing by her friend and colleague Nicole Atkinson. Shannon and her 2 daughters, Bella and Celeste, weren't at home, and Shannon wasn't answering messages from either Atkinson or her husband. So Shannon and her 2 daughters were missing. When Shannon missed a doctor's appointment, Atkinson was worried and ended up calling the cops to do a welfare check. When police searched the house, they found Shannon's phone between the sofa cushions, her bag in the kitchen, and her car with the kids' car seats in the property. The following day, she and the girls were declared missing, and an investigation was launched. 33-year-old Chris Watts was denying any knowledge of their whereabouts, even giving an emotional interviews on television begging for their return. While Chris initially played the grieving husband, it didn't take police long to begin to question his story. 2 days after Shannon had been reported missing, Kissinger, the mistress, who had seen Chris on the news and realized he lied about the state of his marriage and Shannon's pregnancy, told police she had been having an affair with Chris. He was informally accused of Shannon's murder. After he failed a lie detector test, he confessed to killing her. He told the police that a few hours after Shannon had returned, they had gotten into a fight. He had revealed that he was having an affair and wanted a divorce. He threatened to take their kids away from Shannon. At first, he accused Shannon of killing their daughters in retaliation before finally confessing to all the murders. He claimed that the crime was committed during a fight with Shannon, that he had asked for a divorce, then snapped and strangled her. Chris said that once he had killed Shannon, he told his daughters that she was ill and had to be taken to the hospital. He then put all 3 of them into his truck and drove out to the remote work site. He buried Shannon's body in a shallow grave before smothering his daughters and dumping their bodies in oil tanks. On November 19th, having submitted to a plea deal to escape the death penalty, Chris Watts was found guilty. He was sentenced to 3 consecutive life sentences, plus an additional 2 to be served concurrently.
Goodness.
That's the story
Well,
of
that's
the
a
Watts
downer.
family.
Yeah. There was no pauses or anything. Just poof.
Yes.
Just murder.
Just murder. I heard about this case a while back ago, but they came out with a documentary on Netflix.
See, I'm just like, why do you have to kill his daughters? Like,
That's always the thing. Like,
Well, there's like a word for it, like for like family mans to like just like kill their
their
entire
whole
family.
Yeah.
Because everyone knew him as like a good dad, loving father who like loved his kids, and then for him to just like kill all of them, it's kind of crazy.
because it's like, yeah, I get whatever. He killed his wife.
Mm-hmm.
It happened.
He
But
killed his
then
pregnant wife too.
Okay, so you kill your wife once or twice.
But then after that, he's like, shoot, I gotta kill the witnesses. Like,
Well, I wonder if that's what it is. Like, but they're
This is-
kids. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, it was a really crazy story too, because like he like dropped his daughter's bodies in like the oil tanks, and like the hole that he had to put him through was like really not that big, maybe like
God.
10
so
centimeters.
he probably
or-
had to like chop them up to
Oh.
put them in
he
there.
like I don't know what he did, but he like squished them through it. And
like a
they were there
rotisserie
for
chicken.
like hours, and like their skin was like falling off. But
Hours. Wouldn't have been days,
yeah,
months,
days.
weeks.
Right.
I don't think months. I think like days. But
So he confessed pretty quickly after doing it.
well, because every like the cops were like, your story isn't adding up.
Have they found any of the bodies, or until he confessed?
No, they found the bodies after he confessed.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because they had done that lie detector test,
Mhm.
and he was failing it. And then his dad ended up coming to the investigator room or whatever, and he was just like, what's going on? Like, you need to tell me what happened. And he says like, she killed them. Like he was telling like his dad that like she killed her daughters and he killed her for killing
Like
their
revenge.
daughters. Yeah.
Mm.
And then he was just like lying.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then he was like, she killed them. He was like, okay, where did you put the bodies? And that's why like he like kind of told them,
Mm.
and they found the bodies. But yeah, also when the friend figured out that like she was missing, like because she had missed her OBGYN appointment
Mhm.
and she had missed the work meeting and she just wasn't texting her back, she was like concerned. They went to the neighbor's house with Chris, who's the guy.
Mhm.
They went to the neighbor's house because the neighbor had cameras, and like the cops had like cameras on their vests, so you can see like all of these clips. So they were questioning Chris, and Chris was next to a TV that was like turned on.
Mhm.
And in the TV, there's this commercial that pops up, and it's like a fetus in utero,
Mhm.
and then it just cuts off to like some dark liquid, like it almost looks like oil, and then the skull comes out of it, of this like liquid. So everyone like is like tying it to that, almost like as the ghosts were like trying to tell the cops what's going
Like
on.
haunting him.
But it's really creepy. But yeah, there's a whole documentary on like on Netflix. They say like there's still like the spirits in like the house,
Oh, dude.
because what he said is that he like strangled his wife, and then the kids saw him, so he ended up taking them all to that place and like killing them there. But some people think he killed them in the house because they've
Mm.
heard some paranormal stuff like in the house.
Yeah, and also like if he dug the grave and then put the wife in first, the kids would probably be freaking out. I feel like they would have had to be dead before then.
Right.
Yeah, he like talks about how he like killed his daughters, how he killed Celeste, who was like the 3-year-old first. He like smothered her. And then he talks about how he killed the other one. He said, before I like put the pillow on top of her face, she said, "Daddy, no." And I was like, oh, that's terrible. Mm-hmm. He also ended up sending like a letter to this like literally like stranger who has like no association to like the story or him or anyone, kind of confessing that he was planning it.
Whoa.
What the hell?
That's more messed up. Because when you first read it, it sounds like a heat of the moment argument that it happened, but and it's like, oh no, he was planning to do this. Which, like, when someone plans to kill their whole family in advance, what are they thinking?
Yeah, what do they expect
like,
to get out of it?
There's no way you're gonna get away with it and then just live your life free.
With a new person.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The person most likely to kill you, and this is like statistics that are just known everywhere. The person most likely to kill you is your spouse. So you're going to be the first person they look at.
Well, he was having that affair with that lady, so maybe he's like, I'm ready to start my new life.
Well, yeah, that's what we're saying. That's what they think, but it's also like, how do you think you're successfully going to get away with murdering your current wife and children? It doesn't make sense. Like, they're already not right in the head for thinking that could possibly work.
Unless your mistress is like planning to kill the family with you, then that wouldn't work. But like,
that would work.
I don't think that would work.
No, I know what you're saying though.
I'm saying, like,
don't you think the partner would ask questions
like, you might have a higher success rate.
I'm just saying, like,
if you have someone helping you.
Yeah, that's how you could start a new life with her. But yeah, like, I don't know. I mean, obviously he is sick in the head.
Yeah. It's that white privilege.
Yeah. And then his house has been on his house was on sale for a long time, and obviously no one wanted to like buy it because of everything that's happened in there. But last year it was sold. So someone, like a family, bought it, and they just want to fill it with like happiness now. All right. Would you guys ever live in a house that happened in the house?
Could you
live next to a house that happened to?
What if it's that specific house?
No, I don't think I could.
Could you live next to a house where a murder occurred?
No, I don't think I could either. Because I just feel like there's going to be like bad juju. Oh, because you guys lived next to a house where there was a murder.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's you guys. I don't live there.
Dude, that's crazy to think. Like, I'll forget about that, and then like sometimes I'll go over and I'll be like, "Dang, dude, something." And the house has been empty. Yeah. Like, people have moved in, but quickly move out.
Yeah, nobody has stayed there for like longer than a year, I would say.
That's so.
And
crazy.
I feel like in recent time, like no one's been living there at all.
Yeah, the last couple years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do know the house was recently bought and like they were renovating it, but I don't know. I didn't know people had moved in already.
That's crazy.
Or if they had or hadn't, but yeah, similar kind of story. I mean, the person most likely to kill you is your spouse. So we had neighbors. There was a husband, a wife, and a child, and the wife wanted a divorce. Husband didn't want that, so he ended up killing his wife, and then he committed suicide. But luckily, he didn't harm the daughter. But she was in elementary school because we were friends. Like, we used to play all the time. And I guess when it happened, she like went running to a neighbor's house. Like, there's always one of our neighbors that was older that would sit on his porch in the mornings. So I think she knew like he'd be out there, and ran over there, and they called the police.
Dude,
scary.
I can't even imagine, like,
dude
sitting out front enjoying the morning coffee or something.
Yeah. Well, this dude, like Chris, just like to everyone, he was just like a normal guy. At no point like did he ever seem like
just
weird.
Snap.
And then he just like he snapped, and it's crazy because you never know who's a psychopath.
Or it's like you have those. He has like those intrusive thoughts, and eventually gets to a point where he's like, you know what?
I'm gonna do it.
I can act on this, and it'll work.
Dude, I wonder if that's like a thing that like just is always in like those types of people's minds, or is it just like years and years of like a rough marriage, trouble at work? Like, what the hell causes something like that?
I feel like it's maybe just I feel like it has to be just their mentality forever. Like
a predisposed.
They're the type of people that think their family is their property, you know?
Like their ownership type thing.
Yeah.
Like,
so it's like, well, nobody else can have you.
Like super jealous or.
Yeah. I guess for this story, Chris is the one that wanted the divorce.
But it's probably the same idea where it's like, if I leave, she's going to find someone else. Like, I want to start quote unquote a clean slate,
Yeah.
which is so fucked up.
Yeah, like he could have just gotten a divorce. I mean, I'm sure she would have hated it, but
Right, move
Like
on.
shit
Right,
happens.
yeah.
Grow up.
but yeah, and it only gets worse. So when like the trial started happening and like everyone found out about the case, a lot of people were like sending him like letters to his jail saying that like he was like good looking and they believed
my
him and they were
gosh.
sending him money. So
That always happens.
that was like filling up on his head, like yeah.
I did the right thing, like type shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's
the right thing.
well, that I mean, that's it's
Any good American would have killed his wife and kids.
No, he was like getting really cocky because like everyone was with him and he was getting like money, and like some of these letters that women were sending him were like ridiculous.
well, that's a thing. I don't. There's probably a term for that too, but like there's women and I'm sure men out there too who like love the idea of someone who could be that passionate about something to commit murder. Because like in the Jeffrey Dahmer thing,
Yeah.
like any
Who was the
good-looking
other? Ted
person.
Bundy.
Ted
Wasn't
Bundy.
he the
Oh, yeah, he was, like,
good-looking
the one.
one?
Well,
And they was
especially when
getting
they came out
so
with
many.
the movie with Zac Efron
Yeah.
playing Ted
Yeah.
Bundy. It's
Yeah,
like,
that was crazy.
Okay,
Some people are
Zac
just,
Efron's
like,
so hot.
Insane.
I think he's the good guy.
I'm on Zach's side. I don't know.
It's like one of those. It's almost like the same idea of like, if you start dating a person that cheated on their person to be with you, like you don't think, like this person killed their partner, you don't think,
Well,
Right.
some people are just weird.
or like the risk kind of maybe even turns them on.
Maybe.
It's like
Maybe.
I could die
crazy.
today.
Like-
Sexy.
Sexy. My life's at risk every moment of every day.
Gets my blood
Living
going.
on the edge, yeah.
But yeah, that's my true crime story.
Goodness.
Should we rate her story?
It was very sad.
Yeah, really, really a downer.
What, do you want it to be a happy crime story?
Open ended. Come on.
Yeah,
now.
come on. I think mine is not that tragic. It's still messed up.
Okay, go for it.
Should I go next, or do either of you want to go next?
Go for it.
You got it.
Mine is also a Netflix documentary that I've seen, and I think they've also made like a series, like a dramatized series
Okay.
on Peacock. But the Netflix documentary is called Abducted in Plain Sight. Have you guys watched it?
Mm-mm.
No.
Okay, good. I was
Heard
like
of it.
worried you guys might have already
Okay.
seen this story. But I'm pulling a lot of this information from a Refinery 29 article, but it's pretty consistent with like what I remember from the documentary. Anyways, this is the story of young Jan Broberg and Robert B. Berchtold. So we're going to call this Robert Guy B for the remainder of the story, just for simplicity purposes.
Okay.
It's about how B abducted her in front of her own parents in Idaho in the 1970s. He not only abducted her once, but he actually did it twice. Once at the age of 12 and then again at the age of 14.
What the heck?
Yeah.
She was that young?
She was that young
What?
and he was like an adult man.
Okay. Okay.
So in the story, there are two families, the Brobergs, which includes Bob and Mary Ann and their 3 daughters. And the oldest daughter is Jan, who is the main person in our
Mhm.
story. And then the second family is the Berchtolds, and that includes the guy nicknamed B.
Mhm.
And I think he had like 5 kids, but they're not really relevant to the story. And he has a wife, and she's not really super relevant either. Basically, B is a very close family friend to the Brobergs. So much so that he was even trusted to hang out with like the daughters alone sometimes. So one day after school, B asked if he could take Jan out horseback riding. So at first the mom was apprehensive since it was a school night, but eventually she agreed. As soon as Jan was in the car, B drugged her and staged a fake kidnapping to look like the 2 of them had been taken. But in reality, B had taken Jan to Mexico where the 2 got married because at the time the legal age to marry in Mexico was 12.
Bro.
Damn.
Yeah.
Playing the system.
While she was with B, Jan was brainwashed via a tape recorder and was given a mission. Jan was told that she was supposed to save an alien race by having a child with B, and she needed to do this before she turned 16 years old, or else one of her sisters would have to do it, or her family members would go blind or die.
Goodness
Oh
gracious.
my gosh.
So this is what she's being told through a tape recorder that B gave her.
Yeah.
Whoa.
This is like such an outlandish story, which is why I
Dude.
liked it.
Crazy.
So, fearing for her life and her sister's lives and the livelihood of the fake alien race, Jan and B had sex.
Goodness.
She's
At
12
12.
years old. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Eventually, B wanted to return back to the United States, but he needed the Broberg family to agree to the marriage in order for them to cross the border. The Broberg family did not agree. They flew to Mexico. They got their daughter, Jan, and then they returned to the U.S. And B also returned to the U.S. and was charged with kidnapping.
Damn.
So I think he might have been like in jail for a while, but he got out eventually.
Mhm.
I don't have that exact timeline, but in the meantime, Jan was confused and not thinking clearly, and she believed that she was truly in love with B. She thought the two were supposed to be together, and they would often write letters and talk on the phone. So I think she was keeping this a secret from her family because they would
Yeah.
not let her do that. So the family kept her at home when she was supposedly safe and sound, but the brainwashing tape was returned to Jan one day during the night, and she believed she still had a mission to do, and she had to have B with sex, or she had to have sex with B. So I think he would actually like sneak into her room of her house
Goddamn.
so they could sleep
Goodness.
together, and he was committing statutory rape, and that happened multiple times. So the Broberg's home life declined, and eventually Mary Ann, who's the mom,
Mhm.
had an affair with B.
What?
the heck?
Yes, the kidnapper.
But she knew he was the kidnapper.
Yes.
And they probably
And-
knew about the. Well,
don't-
he wanted to marry her, right? So yeah.
She knows about the marriage. But like she doesn't know that he's sneaking into her room, into the daughter's
Right.
room and sleeping with her.
What about the dad? Is the dad? Does he know?
The dad does not know about the affair.
Does he know that he's just going around his house?
No,
No.
they don't know that B is like involved with the family. They know that B kidnapped their daughter and took her to
Right.
Mexico. They all know that. And the mom still had an affair with him. The affair
Bro.
lasted for almost a year until they broke it off. Meanwhile, B was up on kidnapping charges, and B's wife, Gail, used the affair to blackmail the Brobergs into lessening their charges against B.
She was still trying to be with her man.
Yeah, so the wife is still committed. Here we go. B was sentenced to serve 5 years in jail, but that was later dropped to 45 days.
What?
Dang.
In the end, he only spent roughly 10 days in jail.
No shot.
Oh my
White
goodness.
privilege. Was he white?
Yeah, all of these people are white.
Yeah.
Here's another shocking twist. It doesn't say what time and like when this happened in the timeline, but it was revealed in the documentary by Bob Broberg, the dad, that at one point he had participated in an act of masturbation with B one day after B convinced him to go for a drive.
Oh my
So
god.
the dad like gave a hand job to B, the
What?
kidnapper. He seduced both the mom, the dad, the daughter.
I think he's a witch. I think B is a witch.
Is he Zac
Damn.
Efron
He's got
too?
black
What the
magic.
heck?
Yeah, he was allegedly very charming,
need to see a
and
picture of this
personable
man.
and fun. So like
Golly.
they all like still trusted him.
Do they live in like Kentucky or something?
Idaho.
Alabama.
Okay, that makes same thing.
Potato country.
Idaho.
I think that's like one of the most shocking parts for me.
Dude.
Heck yeah. He's like, I love this family.
He really
I have
does.
heard the story like of this family, but not like in detail.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going.
So, on to the second kidnapping. In the summer of 1976, Jan ran away from home, leaving both her family and B distraught. However, the FBI was convinced that B knew where she was, so they put surveillance on him. Eventually, in November, it came to light that B had kidnapped Jan back in August of that same year. B was living in Salt Lake City, Utah, and enrolled Jan at an all-girls Catholic school in Pasadena, California. He told the school that he was the CIA and that they were on the run. And so in an effort to keep Jan hidden, he explained that if anyone came looking for Jan, they were the bad guys. That's what he told the school.
Oh
This
my
guy
God.
must have been charming as fuck. Because what the hell?
You gotta believe me. Wink.
Source. Trust me, bro.
The FBI contacted the school, but they were reluctant to disclose Jan's information, assuming what B told them was true. The FBI was able to get Jan out of the school and brought her back to her home in Idaho. B was charged again with kidnapping. B was then brought to trial again for first-degree kidnapping, was not convicted.
Oh my gosh.
Instead, he was sentenced to a mental facility and was released 6 months later.
What?
I bet he charmed his way out of there too.
Dude, yeah,
They're like 2 years. You know what? 6 months is
6
good.
months is good. They probably begged him to stay. He's like, I gotta go. I got a mission.
The
gotta save
aliens need me to do this.
The alien race.
So
Yeah.
did she get pregnant with him at all?
So no, I don't think she ever ends up getting pregnant.
Thank God.
Dang, he's shooting
Yeah,
blanks.
thank God.
Or he was
Ew.
probably using protection without telling her so that they could just continue to sleep together, is my
Goodness.
guess. So that's kind of the end of the kidnappings, but
Bless
Jan
Thank you.
turned 16, and that's when she realized that the mission she was on this whole time was maybe fake.
Whoa.
Just maybe.
She was like wanting it to be real, and then she's 16. Like, I'm tired of this.
Yeah, she's
Dude.
like, maybe it's not real. Well, because she didn't have the baby when she turned, by the
Yeah.
time she turned 16, and she saw her family
She's
was
like,
still alive.
It's weird that I'm supposed to have his baby, but he uses protection every time.
15 must have been rough. She probably was sweating bullets like, dude, my family's gonna be fucking blind.
Yes. The alien race is going to die because of me. Jan asked her parents to go to a theater camp for the summer, and while away, she started to question whether aliens were real or not, and she concocted a plan to carry out the rest of the mission herself, in which she would kill herself and her sister Karen. I didn't know this part. Eventually, Jan gets the sense that her life is fine and these aliens are not real. She tells this to her parents, and the family begins to heal the wounds caused by B.
Golly.
They're like, you dumb bitch.
Yeah.
She was-
All of them are dumb. The mom, the dad,
The
I
school.
guess
the
it's
Like-
school.
in all fairness, Jan was 12. So she's
Yes.
like very impressionable.
She was groomed.
Stockholm
Yeah.
Syndrome,
Oh,
where
yeah.
she fell in love with her captor. Like, that's.
But
But
the
come
mom
on.
and the dad gave
The
him a hand
dad,
job.
give him a little
Yeah.
handy hand. Handy Manny over here.
and
But
they-
B was a friend, right? Family friend.
Yeah.
So if the mom and dad are already fucking weird and they have a friend, like, where did they meet this guy? You know?
Yeah, it's weird that he has a whole family and only he comes over. You know?
yeah.
Right.
Well, I'm sure the families would hang out together, but he specifically was like very close with the family.
Yeah, what about his family? What did they think about all
yeah,
of this?
they're like so uninvolved.
Because I feel like they'd be like, yeah, let's get our kids together, you know?
Yeah, like,
Have a barbecue.
You don't think the 5 kids were like, Mom, where's dad when he's in fucking partying in Mexico?
He's not sleeping here every night. But-
Right, she doesn't catch him sneaking
also,
out.
I
to
need
go.
a picture of this man.
But his wife stuck by him no
What's his
matter
name?
what.
Marisol's about to start writing him letters.
I'm gonna look it up. He's Robert Birchtold. So this is him with Jan.
Let's see
Oh
it.
my gosh, it's so creepy.
He doesn't look that great looking.
Bro, he looks like every white man in the 70s. He could be on that 70s show.
But yeah, crazy story. Do you guys want a little update on kind of what happened
Mhm.
afterwards?
Yeah.
So, in her adult life, I guess, Jan and her mom started to write a book called Stolen Innocence, the Jan Broberg story, and they went on a speaking tour. B started showing up to these events and talking to the media in order to shut this down, saying that the two were spreading lies. Jan filed a stalking charge, and in the end, Jan was able to get a restraining order against B for the rest of her life.
Thank goodness.
Goals.
The fact that he's just out and about, went to jail for 10 days,
I think
went
this
to a
is him
mental
now.
facility for 6 months. Like,
Ew.
he should be on all the lists.
Well, I'll tell you where he is now. So,
Okay.
outside of a speaking event in 2005, B got into a fight with a group of Bikers Against Child Abuse members,
Mm.
Ooh.
and he was charged with 3 felonies and 2 misdemeanors. He was found guilty and scheduled to be sentenced, but he didn't want to go to jail, so he overdosed on medicine, suffering death by suicide.
God damn.
So
Golly.
he didn't even like serve any time for any of his crimes, really. He just
Yeah.
killed himself when it was going to be served for different crimes, I guess.
I bet you those bikers beat him up.
I hope they beat him up good.
And then they're like, well, we're not going to charge the bikers.
Yeah.
Right, they're like the good guys in this situation.
Like, he deserved it.
So yeah,
Street justice.
you can go watch the documentary on Netflix called Abducted on Plain Sight. And there's also, I think, a series on Peacock about this story.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
I think still obviously a very messed up story. I
Heck
feel like it's
yeah.
less of a downer than Marisol's story.
No one died.
There
I
was some
guess.
comedic relief.
I don't know. There's
It's a little
rape,
scary.
child abuse.
Jan
Dude,
is still alive and well today.
The
And
affair with the mom is for a year.
And then the
Bro.
dad giving him a handy.
I mean, that's a one and done. Maybe he was curious. But golly,
They
the
were
whole mom
bored.
for a
I
year.
don't know. I bet him and the dad had an affair too.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
Oh,
say,
they probably played it
but
down.
he only revealed doing the handy the one time.
He
He's
definitely
like-
played it down.
It's speculated that there was more handies or more to the relationship
Oh,
than we know.
I'm
He's
sure.
like,
Miss
wow.
Janet, is this true? The dad.
Just charming
Miss
ass.
Jackson.
I bet him and the wife were doing it together.
Well, that's
They're
what I thought you were
having
gonna say.
threesomes
with
I
the
thought they were
kidnapper.
cuckold in that man.
That's what I mean.
When they're probably like, look, don't give my wife so much shit. Like I gave him a handy once, you know.
B, now I know you're with my wife, but I can't stop thinking about you.
It's funny. Both of the dads' names are also named Robert, actually. So one
This
went by
one's
like
B.
Bob, and the other one went by B.
Hmm.
Bebop.
B.
Who's next?
All right, mine.
What you got, David? What true
Okay,
crime?
so I'm kind of just parsing through. I wanted y'all to go first because I want to see how much detail y'all give because I'm just going through the Wikipedia, kind of. But I'll give the main details. And it seems like this is a local story.
Yep,
From
I'm a
way
bit
back when.
familiar.
So, yeah, Sam seemed to ring a bell. But mine is, and again, this is Wikipedia. So if you have any qualms with my source, check Wikipedia and take it up with them. And make a donation while you're at it. They're
Yeah.
they're always sending me messages to give them money. How about you
Donate
give them
to
money?
Wikipedia.
Okay, so mine is the disappearance of Brian Schaefer. Schaefer, I don't know, one of those.
potato.
But Brian Schaefer was from Pickerington, Ohio, so a local to Ohio as well.
OH.
IO. So he was an American. It says is un. So that's gonna be kind of keep that in mind. It's not even a was because it's an open case, I believe, still. But is an American medical student at the Ohio State University College of Medicine. On the night of March 31st, 2006, Schaefer went out with friends to celebrate the beginning of spring break. Later, he was separated from them and they assumed he had gone home. However, a security camera near the entrance to a Columbus bar recorded him briefly talking to two women just before 2 a.m., April 1st, April Fool's Day, and then apparently re-entering the bar without any evidence of him leaving the area. Schaefer has not been seen or heard from since. The case has received national media attention. It's been especially puzzling to investigators since there was no other publicly accessible entrance or exit to the bar at that time. So, the bar was Ugly Tuna Saloona, but not where it is currently.
The original location.
Yeah, which is by Gateway or like in the Gateway on the second floor.
Okay.
So it's like there's one way in, one way out type thing. Police have several theories about what happened, and some different people have raised suspicions, particularly at a friend of Schaefer's who accompanied him that night, but has refused to take a polygraph lie detector test regarding the incident.
Ooh, he did it. He done it.
While foul play has been suspected, including the possible involvement of the purported smiley face serial killer, it has also been speculated that he might be alive and living somewhere else under a new identity. So, some background on the smiley face serial killer is, I think it's within the Midwest. The smiley face murder theory is it alleges that 45 young men found dead in bodies of water across several Midwestern American states from the late 90s to the 2010s did not accidentally drown as suspected, but were victims of a serial killer or a group of killers.
Wait, you said 45?
45
That's so
from
many.
all over.
It's a lot.
And so the common thing is they're mostly men.
Mm-hmm.
I think college age is kind of the demographic. And they kind of disappear when they're like drunk. So like they'll be out drunk. And it's called the smiley face murder because police discovered graffiti depicting a smiley face near locations where they think the killer dumped bodies in at least a dozen of the cases. So some detective from New York has been trying to piece it all together. So I had actually heard about the smiley face killer when I was living in Boston because I think several disappearances had happened there too with college age students. And there was one night where I got pretty crunk and I was like wandering around the city at night, and I think after that, someone told me, "He's like, you weren't worried about the smiley face killer?"
Oh my god!
And I didn't think about that again until reading this story. So I was like, oh shit, that was actually a thing. I thought they were just like, I thought it was like a local thing. I didn't know it was 45 cases, and particularly in the early 90s and stuff. But since it's kind of unsolved, there's this whole conspiracy theory of like, are the smiley face killers out there? Are people inspired by them? And that type of stuff. So again, Brian Schaefer disappeared on March 31st. Medical student, I think about to wrap up his time there. He had been cramming for finals and decided to go out that night with his friends at the Ugly Tuna Saloon. So, whatever. The big thing is there is recordings, and of course, Ugly Tuna Saloon had gotten investigated. They're like, do you know anything? Let's get the footage. But yeah, all they saw was him talking to two women, and then no sign of him leaving again, which is like so weird to think about. Like, did
what
he go
about
through
like
a back
the
door?
employees inside? Like, did they say like, oh, I remember seeing him?
Yeah, but like, think about it. It's like finals week. Everyone's going out,
and Ugly Tuna's always packed.
And it's not. Yeah, it's like
How you gonna
Brian's
pick
just
one
another
person?
student.
Yeah. Did they find these two women?
They did question them, I think, but
nothing came of it.
I think they were either friends from class or they had just met or something. Brian was also engaged, and people suspected that he was going to. Oh, not engaged. He had a girlfriend, another medical student. And people thought that he was going to be proposing to her, like on that next spring break trip. They were supposed to be going on a trip together. So obviously she kind of came into question too, but she didn't really know anything. And he had been hanging out with his dad earlier that day, and his dad tried to convince him not to go out. He's like, rest up, you got your big trip and stuff like that. But Brian went out anyways.
Paid the price.
The dad took a lie detector test, I believe, but Florence, which was the friend, refused.
Did they say why?
No.
America.
So that's where
it like looks suspicious that he's saying no.
Suspicious, no, but you know, there's many more details and you can investigate it, but I don't want to keep parsing through it.
Thank you, David.
But the reason I thought this one was interesting was 1, because it was local, 2, because it's still an open case, and then 3, because of the different theories, right? So one theory is, you know, maybe he got abducted, maybe he's dead, maybe he was a smiley face killer victim, but the body was never recovered. I think his family had even and friends were searching the Olentangy River just in case. Nothing came up. Another theory that I think is more interesting is that the reason their friend doesn't want to take a polygraph test is that maybe Brian
assumed his life. Assumed his life. Oh wait,
like a new identity, or what do you mean?
Never mind. You continue.
Yeah, what do you mean by assumed?
Yeah, assumed his life. Yeah.
I was thinking like he's pretending to be the friend, but it's actually him. But I guess someone would have recognized him.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No. So.
He has his face over his.
He's wearing his face.
It's not noticeable.
Hey, baby, I'm Brian. Let's get married. No, but the one theory is the friend doesn't want to take the polygraph test because he knows where Brian is. This theory assumes that Brian is still alive, disappeared somehow, and took on a new life. Maybe running away from potential engagement. Maybe running away from, because he also his dream was to be in a band like Jimmy Buffett and not really do the whole medical thing.
Yeah, but he already almost finished.
Right, he was like
medical
finishing
school.
up.
It just wouldn't make sense.
But just like running from responsibility, which is why the theory is kind of in question. But that's why the one reason they think the friend doesn't want to take the test. And maybe he swore that night that he would never tell his, girlfriend, family where he went.
Yeah.
And then,
how.
You know how Reddit gets with conspiracy theories. So another thing is in September 2008, during a heavy windstorm, Randy, the father, was out in the yard of his Baltimore home when a branch blew off from a nearby tree and fatally struck him. Neighbors found his body the next morning and called police. Condolence book went out, and on the signature book, one of them said, "To Dad, love Brian," in parentheses, U.S. Virgin Islands. People think that, realistically, it's probably someone trolling. But
I still got chills.
That's where like the theory of like, shit, did he like run away somewhere else? And someone furthering that theory was like, maybe the dad faked his death so he could join Brian in their new life. And I'm like, they found a body. Right. Could have been a double.
A double. I'm sure
Homeless
they'll
man.
recognize him.
And then the note was
I don't
found
know.
to have been posted from a computer accessible to the public in Franklin County. So it was a hoax. But you know how the internet gets.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
Said maybe he killed his dad. Has there been money moved around?
He killed his dad during a thunderstorm.
With a branch.
Or like, what if the dad was in it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like maybe the friend cracked, told the dad he's here, and he's like, I want to be with my son.
Also, you can just like decline to be like, no, I don't want to do a lie detector test, and then okay, you're free to go.
Well, here's the thing: they can't charge. You can't be charged.
Yeah, they don't have any evidence against you.
It's
But
not
it's
backed
an
by science
ongoing
either.
investigation. Like he would be like,
But they can't charge you until they have something. So you just got to live your
It has to
life.
be like
Yes.
guilty beyond doubt,
Yeah.
without a doubt or
Yeah.
whatever.
Like even in your story, the guy confessed after taking the
Right.
test.
because
He
he's
cracked.
a fucking idiot.
Shouldn't have taken the test.
But
Have you guys heard that story before? Like Marisol
The-
and Oscar?
No, I haven't. You know, you never think it's gonna happen until it happens.
It's in our
I
backyard.
just not even for like men, like even women too. You shouldn't be out there like drunk.
by
Yeah.
yourself.
And you know how many drunk guys have come to like our front door, like
oh,
thinking
it's
ring
their
the doorbell,
house.
or the one dude who left his wallet. Or something.
yeah, the one dude who left the wallet, the one dude who was trying to like get in our house,
The guy that actually came into our house.
the guy that
Oh,
came in.
yeah.
Like if you guys think about it, like when we send them away, like
Where do they go?
where did they go? Like, do you think they're actually finding their way back home?
Bruh, imagine missing persons.
That's what I
That would be so
mean.
messed up.
He was
But
really drunk.
yeah, I mean, we don't know that he was wandering the streets drunk though, because there's no evidence of him leaving the bar. That's the thing. That's like, where is he? Like, did they searched for his body in the building and they didn't find anything?
They,
Didn't find him in
chopped
any
him
body
up
of
and
water or anything.
took it out with the trash.
Okay,
Or he could-
Oscar.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I actually heard this story when I was in college, and Ugly Tuna is the bar that we used to go to all the time.
Mhm.
They had $1 drinks on Wednesday.
You took me
Before or
there
after you
knowing
knew
that story.
Well, it's a new location.
No, we went to the old location.
Yeah.
Oh.
We used to go
The
to the
old
original
Oh, really?
location.
The
Yeah.
haunted one.
dang.
You took me there knowing this story.
Yeah, I think the new location opened up the year after we graduated.
Oh, because I've only ever seen the newer location because I'm not.
Yeah,
Right.
newer
Sucks.
location sucks compared to the original.
Seems like.
I think the original one closed during either like the end of my junior year or sometime in like the middle of my senior year.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Where
but-
in Gateway was it? Because I read, but I couldn't.
you remember where that like Mexican restaurant was? Or
I think so. Well,
okay, so like if you're going to Gateway and you go up the escalator,
Yes.
you turn to the left and that's the movie theater.
Yes.
Turn to the right, that was Ugly Tuna.
Yeah.
Like the
Oh,
entrance was
that,
right
that
there.
door that goes out to. Okay.
Yeah.
But it was probably set up different because Gateway seems like it's probably been renovated.
I
More
don't know.
newer?
I don't doubt the building has had huge renovations.
Okay.
I think they changed it to like an office space where Ugly Tuna was.
Okay.
But yeah, it
Because
was
it's
like,
not publicized as like.
and it
anything.
was, they had a balcony that was like right up by High Street, pretty
Mhm.
much.
Oh, it must have been raw.
Yeah, so it was really cool. I feel like that's like when I heard about the story, a theory was like, oh, maybe he jumped off the balcony and that's why they don't have footage of him leaving the door.
Like he was just out of camera shot or something.
Yeah, well, because like they had a balcony outside, but then
Yeah.
like, and it was only the second floor. Like he could definitely survive jumping off the balcony.
Goodness.
But you would think someone would have noticed that.
And some dude falling from the sky as people are trickling out.
Oh, there's like
Yeah.
a body in the middle of the street. or
Yeah, or if he like
sidewalk.
broke his
Yeah.
leg or something. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah. So it's
Jeez.
wild. Like I've been to Ugly Tuna, the one in the story.
I know. Dang, now I kind of want to go. They should open it back up. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. The original location was just so much fun because there was like a stage. It was like set up like a big circle, kind of the bar in the middle, and then there was the outside area.
And it's a cool location. Right
Yeah.
on High Street, the hustle and bustle.
It was a good bar.
Yep.
Damn.
R.I.P.
So
And
I mean, obviously they had nothing to do. They weren't in trouble or anything, but like surprised that they still stayed open like long after.
yeah,
that,
long
right?
after.
I'm sure that I was like, I wonder if people were like, like once they read that, or like maybe I don't want to go there. but they're probably like the opposite. Like, ooh, let's go to.
Yeah, I feel like it never really.
Came
Maybe
up.
a lot of the public didn't know, but it never really impacted anyone's decision to want to go there.
Oh,
Because
I'm
I
sure.
feel like the way I heard the story, it was like more framed like a tall tale. Like,
Yeah.
like we don't know if that even actually happened or if someone is just making this up.
Oh shit.
Like,
yeah, just
is,
like one of
is
those
this person
urban
even
like,
real? Yeah, it
campus
was like an
urban
urban
legend.
legend type thing.
Dang.
But like clearly there's a Wikipedia thing about it, so like maybe there's fact based stuff
Right.
on it. But like as a student, the impression was always like, the story is probably not even real, but it's not,
Right.
it's interesting.
Let's go get another drink. Fuck it.
Yeah.
They got $2 wells or doubles or whatever.
Yeah, so it was $1. They had this thing called Ugly Hour, so every drink was $1. So if you got a double, it was only $2. So
Dang.
I spend $8 and I'd be good.
$8. You'd be good. What the heck?
You'd be better
Miss
than
Ma'am, I hope you had more than a Cliff Bar for dinner.
It's a campus bar, keep in mind. So they were like not the strongest drinks.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Still, yeah.
It's not a problem till you graduate. We get it. We get it.
Nice.
No wonder, yeah. 8 well drinks, freaking, that'll make anyone disappear.
Yep.
That was mine. Would you guys ever go into witness protection? Start a new life?
Well, if I had
Yeah,
to.
if I
Right,
had
yeah,
to,
I
you
guess it's
know,
only
but
ever back
no one
against
ever
the wall.
wants to
It's
do
usually
it.
because your life is at risk.
So where do I sign up? It's been real. I'll tune in.
I'm ready.
I disappear. Y'all are on episode 120. Oh, we gotta call in. We gotta call in. Hey, what up? Big fan. It's like, I wonder what he would have, assuming he's alive. I mean, that's kind of the best case scenario.
That he is
Is
alive,
that he's alive
and living a
and
different
just
life.
gone. Poor family, though. I always wonder about that when that happens in like movies.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like, because I think they frame it as you die, right? And then they put you in like fucking Glendale.
Yeah, when you go into witness protection. Yeah.
And then they just send you somewhere else. You got to get a new haircut, bud. Grow out that mustache.
Mm-hmm.
He must have not liked his family. He didn't
Well,
want to tell
I'm just wondering if maybe he was like, I don't want to get married.
Yeah.
Like, that's the biggest one.
But
Like,
I don't want to break
I
up.
don't want to be a doctor anymore. I don't want to get married. I want something different completely.
I want to live in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Play Jimmy Buffett song.
But how he would have to fly there with his ID.
And there'd be like records and shit.
Yeah.
What if he knew something, like a secret society secret of someone on campus? And he's like, I
Illuminati.
got to leave. You'll never know. But hopefully, imagine if he got found like 20 years later.
I know. That would be
That would
wild.
be
if
so crazy.
there's an update. Like, he's alive. I can't wait for that.
We found him in Kissimmee, Florida. Like, what the heck?
All right. Let's move on to the last story.
So I got this story from a friend Lauren. It's not as spooky as your guys' is, but it is kind of
The
crazy.
missing
Okay.
Cheetos.
Is she a big true crime fan?
Not that I know of.
Oh, she just happened to tell you the story once.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be talking about this lady, Walburga Osterreich, but she went by Dolly, so we're just gonna call her Dolly.
Okay.
Perfect.
I like it.
So in August 22nd, 1922, her husband was found dead in their bedroom, and she was found locked, like in their closet. And what she told the police was that some burglars broke in and stole a bunch of like jewelries and valuables and shot her husband, and he died. And the police didn't believe her, but they also couldn't explain how she got locked in the closet, because you'd have to lock it from the outside.
Mhm.
So they let her go, and like nothing ever came about it. She ended up remarrying, and she had an affair when she got remarried. She was having an affair with another guy, and she had this guy hide one of the guns that was the same like caliber of the bullet that the husband got shot with. And then she had a second one that she gave to the neighbor, who buried it in his yard.
These people are just listening to her, just
Yeah.
hiding guns anywhere.
She was
She's
as charming
also
as
a
B.
She was very charming, charismatic. So after she broke off, like that affair broke off, he told her like second husband, and they found the weapons, and like she got like taken by the police. And when they were holding her, because they had this suspicion that it was her that killed him. She told her second husband that he had to go to the attic and leave some food and water because she was hiding a man there.
What?
And when the second husband went to see, there was a guy that he was hiding in the attic who was her lover. And he like never like interacted with men. So he like told the guy everything, just wanting to talk to another man. And the guy was like, you know what? I didn't even care about this affair. Just get out of my house.
So she had a second husband, an affair partner, and a lover hiding in the attic.
Yes.
Bro.
So
She said, I need a roster.
Right.
So they couldn't trace back the guns to Dolly, because the guns were too corroded. But what happened was that like lover that had been living in there had confessed to the crime. Like,
That he killed the first husband?
yes.
And then locked her in the
that makes
closet.
sense.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so what actually happened was this guy was living in their attic. So they lived in where did they originally live? Because the husband got shot in Los Angeles. So yeah, this guy was like living in their attic, and then he heard the wife and Dolly and the first husband arguing, and so he came down and like grabbed their like guns and ended up shooting the husband 3 times, and he like locked Dolly in the closet to make it seem like she
Like an intruder.
She wasn't
Yeah,
involved.
like she wasn't
someone else did
involved.
it.
And actually the reason the guy even confessed was because the second husband, when like noticed that the wife had given away the jewelry and valuables that she claimed were stolen to like other people, and then when they got divorced, he's like, oh fuck her, I'm telling the police, like this is what I saw. So yeah, that lover that was living in the attic, they charged him, but he ended up not serving any crime because he was outside the
Statute of limitations.
yeah, the statute of limitations. So what had actually happened was the first husband that the wife had, Dolly, worked a lot, and he just didn't satisfy all her needs. And she ended up starting to have an affair with a worker from his factory because he made aprons. And this guy came over once to like fix her sewing machine, and they just ended up having an affair. And then people were getting suspicious of this guy coming to her house all the time, and she told him like, oh, he's my half brother. And so what she ended up doing was having him move into the attic so that no one would see him coming and leaving. And so he lived in their house for like 5 years.
What?
And this was before they moved to Los Angeles. They ended up buying a house because they lived somewhere in the eastern US. They bought a house in Los Angeles. The lover moved there first and then moved into the attic so that when they moved in, Dolly and her husband, he was already there.
So he was settled.
Yeah.
What?
And so then, yeah, I think it was like another 4 years that he was living there before he like shot the husband.
Oh my gosh. So that's already 9 years. Do you know how long the marriage was with the second husband?
I don't remember.
That's crazy.
Why
3
even get a
years.
second husband and you could just be with
the
the
lover?
lover?
Because she
That's
likes
probably
the
the
thrill.
thrill. Dude, whatever she's carrying between the legs must have been magical.
She convinced this man to be in solitary for over 9 years with no interaction with any other humans except for her.
Just for a drop of her loving. That's crazy.
He said they would make love like 8 times a day.
Oh my goodness.
How did she sneak
Must
away?
be nice.
Well, the husband was busy working.
Oh, right.
And her second husband also worked a lot.
Oh, she just wanted
She
them
had
to
a
support
system.
her. That's
Yeah.
probably why she got married, for the money.
And it was also 1920s, you said?
Yeah.
So. she
'Cause,
probably
yeah,
wasn't
the-
working.
There was no social media, no texting that they could
She
catch
could get
her
away
with.
with it, bro.
Yeah, because the other guy was satisfying her and also helping her around the house during the day. And then at night, he would like read books and write like literature because he wanted to like publish books.
Gotcha.
Shoot,
after the-
honestly, sign me up.
But he could never go outside.
Did he have to? He probably had to shoot in a buck, or he would hold until the partner would leave.
Yeah, he probably had access.
Imagine
to
he
the
clogged it
bathroom.
up,
morning.
and then the husband's like,
What'd
"You
eat,
never,
honey?
you never poop like this. Who's in my house?"
So yeah, Dolly never. I don't think she ever served any time. She ended up dying when she was like 80 or something. The lover ended up finding another woman, getting married, and then moving to Canada, and like
Wow.
was never really heard from.
Just lived a normal life after that.
Yeah.
Right after being
trapped basically
in an attic.
Like, she's a master manipulator. I don't even blame the lover. I feel like he had Stockholm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was enamored by. He must have been.
Well, they started their affair when he was like 17, and she was like in her
Okay.
early
Child.
30s.
Grooming.
Bruh.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Golly. Wait. So he was out of for murder. The statute of limitations on that.
I thought
it was
there was
indefinite.
no statute of limitations for murder.
I don't know. Maybe they changed the law, but
Yeah, maybe back then there was.
then-
Oh yeah, true. It was older. Maybe it was like 25 years or something, which is still fucking long as hell.
Yeah. Crazy. Good one to end off in. It's not
Yeah.
as deep and dark.
it's crazy.
I feel like we started with the deepest, darkest, and then slowly got a little lighter.
You're welcome, listeners.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a hammer. Boom.
Yes.
Oil rigs, bro. What barrels?
Those are some good topics.
Yeah, this was a
Good, some
great
stories.
spooky episode,
Yeah, we
guys.
filled her up. And great chicken.
Yum. Well, I think that's it. Anything else? Last minute.
This is gonna be coming out in October-ish.
Yeah, so this will come out the third weekend in October.
If anyone has any last minute scary movie recommendations for maybe the final week of spooky season, let us know.
Well, I don't know if by the time they listen to this, we'll probably have recorded the rest of the October episodes.
Oh, that's true.
So if you have any Thanksgiving movies you want to...
Yeah.
And Christmas movies.
Oh yeah, already Christmas season creeping up on us.
Mm-hmm.
You got a New Year's movie? Let us know.
Cool. Well, thank you all for listening. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Eating Good Pod. And we'll see y'all next week.
Goodbye.
Adios.
Bye.
Arrivederci.